Ayy, it's Glizak and Guwap, we so icy, nigga, you not. Pistol in the party, D young niggas with me too hot. I ran it up, no bank account, I stuffed it in the shoebox. Ninth grade with them things, I feel like a trap guy. Long live my nigga Flipper, bitch, you see these blue rocks. Ayy, I can't put no money in my denim, it's just too much. Ayy, every time you see me, I got some new ice in like 2 cups. Ayy, not from Milwaukee or from Tampa Bay, these blue books.
It's school whopping Glizak and this combo gon' be hard to stop. Zone 6 to South Memphis, tone that pistol like a cop. When give me my flowers, I rewarded myself and bought a watch. Took the fork and scraped the pot, it's off the eye, I shake the pot. I can't put no money in no niggas who ain't worth it, dawg. Confiscated my necklace cause these suckers didn't deserve it, y'all. 17 summers later, showing no signs of falling off. I didn't even imagine I'd be ballin' how I'm ballin' now. Niggas tried to count me out, they miscounted the wrong amount. Killers took, don't bring them up, it's random if I bring them out. Oh, you gotta crash, damn it, think before you send them out. His brain left on the dashboard, we all see what he thinking about.
Ayy, it's Glizak and Guwap, we so icy, nigga, you not. Pistol in the party, D young niggas with me too hot. I ran it up, no bank account, I stuck.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 124 of the SplashCast, the Around the League edition, Monday Night Raw. I'm your co-host, Reggie.
I'm your co-host, Norwood. Our powers combined, we are your HBCU homeboys. Welcome to another fantastic edition of the SplashCast, episode 124?
124.
124 episodes of the realest podcast you've ever encountered. Welcome to the audio experience.
Yes, sir. Y'all know what it is when it comes to the Around the League edition. We talk about our HBCU news around the culture, football news around the league, basketball news around the league. We cover baseball in the pregame, and it is now basketball season because the baseball season is over with. Go back and listen to the pregame if you haven't. Episode 124 of the pregame. Covered a lot of great things. We like to do uplifting news as well as violence and a little bit of comedy. With that being said, man, let's go ahead and get started with this HBCU news around the culture. Hey, dog, I'm telling you, college football, this was Separation Saturday early. It was like Separation Saturday ease. Ludacris, pause. Ludacris is cap. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's tough. The Falcons hat.
Oh, okay. Wait, see, this is what happens when you're 37 years old. First thing, he means stop, pause, not pause. And when he says cat, my hat, thank you, not cap as in fabricating things.
Yeah. But yeah.
That's what the kids be saying. Come on.
I hear you. So let's start out with these transfers, man. The mid-season HBCU football top performing transfers, according to Light On Sports and 247 Sports and Light On Sports, is Miles Crawley from Grambling State, Cardell Thomas, offensive lineman from FAMU, and Herb Mulligan from Jackson State University. Miles Crawley has played really, really well. And of course, Cardell Thomas leads, I believe FAMU is the number one HBCU team in the SWAC, and I think they're number 2 overall behind North Carolina Central, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
So they seem to be on a crash course, and that would be a really, really good game, FAMU versus North Carolina Central.
That's what we want to see.
So yeah, man, these transfers, Miles Crawley, Grambling laid an egg for their homecoming. Well, we'll get to it, but up until Saturday, Miles Crawley was quietly trying to be the SWAC MVP. He was playing out of his mind, as well as Cardell Thomas. So, and of course, Jackson State was moving on. Nah, it's no Hawks mix. That's all. That's just a Falcons logo. Now, in the sequel to Who Ain't SWAC, Eddie Robinson Jr. at Alabama State told y'all Deion wasn't SWAC. Deion played in for homecoming and 2 years ago. And Eddie Robinson Jr. didn't forget and said, I hope y'all play us for homecoming again if you're here. Now, there's a few things in that statement that seem to have rung true.
You see the writing on the wall? You saw me looking around.
It's kind of bold. It's kind of bold, ain't it? They use capitals. Now, Eddie Robb seemed to have been right about a few things that day 2 years ago in October. I think we'll call it fall of 2021. Dion ain't back. He said he was gonna leave. And he took a lot of Jackson State with him. Eddie Robb said, I hope y'all play us for homecoming again. Cause we're gonna give y'all that L. Seems to say he was right about that too. Alabama State beat Jackson State for their homecoming. 24-19. Mind you, Alabama State was fighting with Southern for like 4th place. This was a monumental upset and a big hit to Jackson State's aspirations to get to Atlanta.
They're gonna buy a ticket like everybody else.
Gonna go to the Battle of the Bands.
Yeah. Hey, we'll see you there.
Oh man. So Jackson State losing their homecoming kind of opens the door up for everybody else in the SWAC East if FAMU were to ever falter.
It's home. It's tough because.
Oh, you want to stay here?
I mean, I've honestly thought that I was very uncertain. I think that Jackson State has kind of done the best they could with what they have. I think they have the second most turnover. I mean, not turnovers, but most transfers of anybody in college football. They lost Dion. They lost a lot, and I think that they've been very competitive. They've seemed to still play pretty well considering all the turnover and movement and just way things have kind of transpired. But this was a game he really needed to win. Like, it's homecoming. You know what homecoming means. This is a team, This is just one of the games you're supposed to win.
This is like, he's going to do a lot of good things this year. They have been really, really good. Jackson State has been good this year. Yeah. But all of that will be overlooked because you lost homecoming. And I don't want it to be overlooked. And I'm not talking about nationally because everybody didn't know that this was Jackson State's homecoming. But in the HBCU culture, amongst the alumni, you can best believe that they are talking down there like, hey, you can't lose homecoming. We never lose homecoming. And you better pick your opponents better. Better pick it better.
That's a lot of it. We picked this game so that we can win. And it just ain't go that way. It went the opposite way of the way that I'm sure the way that you expected it.
I'm about to say you don't schedule homecoming expecting to lose.
No. But they're not the only person that blew homecoming.
Ooh, my bad. Graham fam. 45-24, absolute demolition by Alabama A&M. Xavier Langford had 320 total yards for Alabama A&M and 3 touchdowns. Alabama A&M continues to
ruin people's night. What you mean?
They played consistently tough. Although they got blown out by Southern 27-0 and then absolutely destroyed Grambling on the road. Shout out to them, man. Shout out to Xavier Langford and that team. That this was really, really unexpected. And now the SWAC West seems like it is wide open.
This is mind blowing. We just talked about Crawley and how well he's played and the offense moving in the right direction. And it looks like Hughes really got a hold on that offense. And then to come out homecoming weekend and get stomped 45-24.
Stomped. And it wasn't even close. It was never close. Woo, it was never close. Can you imagine? Yes, I can, because we did play at Hampton. We played Bethune-Cookman for homecoming, and they beat us to death that one year. But, Alabama A&M was up 14-7. It was 17-7 it was 17-17 at halftime, and then they outscored them 28-7 in the second half. Like I said, the SWAC is now wide open. As I look at the SWAC West, Prairie View is in first place in the SWAC West, followed by Alcorn, then Southern and Grambling, Texas Southern and UAPB bringing up the rear. FAMU is 4-0. And after that, it's Jackson State, Alabama State, and Alabama A&M all tied at 2-2 with Mississippi Valley State and Bethune-Cookman bringing up the rear. This, I mean, I would say it's wide open, but FAMU just needs probably one more win to really solidify themselves as the SWAC East champion. And the SWAC West, just like last year, you remember Southern made it to the SWAC championship after losing their last two games and backdooring themselves into the SWAC West championship, into the SWAC West champion.
Really did.
And because they beat Grambling at the last game of the year after losing two of their last three, and went and then got smoked by Jackson State. So I don't know what's about to happen, but I do know for one SWAC East team, Mississippi Valley State. I picked Mississippi Valley to win this game. They won 42-17 against Arkansas Pine Bluff, and they finally got their first win of the season. I'm happy for them. If you know the story, the backstory, we talked about how Mississippi Valley State beat Jackson State last year before Dion left. And then right after Dion left, he took Mississippi Valley State's head coach and made him his linebackers coach at Colorado. Really young talented guy. Man. So shout out to Mississippi Valley State, man. They are on the come up. And if you look at their band used to be 4 tubas. That's how you can kind of judge when when alumni have gotten involved in HBCUs. You got to look at the band first. Now they got like 20 tubas, 25 tubas. Their band is now like 200, 300 people. It was like 50. So it seems like the alumni have started giving, and it's trickling down to the athletics as well. So that's what's up, man.
And if you remember last year, they were kind of tight for resources. Mm-hmm. So to be doing that and still be trying to a certain degree, gain, keep, and manage resources, congrats on the win.
I think the athletic budget for the whole school was $1 million. Like,
yeah,
all sports, all sports. Keep that in context,
all inclusive, if you will.
To keep that in context, the SEC, all schools get paid $44 million a year off the TV contract, minimum
annually,
and theirs is $1 million a year. So shout out to Mississippi Valley State doing more with less. But as we said, things may be on the change for them. Ja Morant gifts Mississippi Valley State basketball his unreleased sneakers. He gifted them to his alma mater, which is Murray State, and he also sent it to Mississippi Valley State because I believe his little sister plays there now and committed to play there in basketball. And they now have all of his shoes as well, which I kind of like these shoes. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, me too. I do. I like the yellow one specifically. You're never going to get me on the shoes being two different colors. The second from the bottom is pretty good. I do think that the second from the bottom is something I've seen somewhere before. I can't exactly put my finger on it, but I know it when I see it. I'm going to have to figure that out too. It's going to bother me until I figure it out. But it's a good shoe. And in a world where there are like a lot of players' sneakers are not fantastic, this is a good one.
Yeah, man, and it's a good look for Ja. Of course, we all know that he's, repairing his image. It's a good opportunity for Mississippi Valley State. We talked about FAMU being sponsored by LeBron, Howard being sponsored by Team Jordan. So now you get gifts from Ja for Mississippi Valley State, and that could just kick. Sometimes what's the famous saying? You look good, you play good, you feel good, you feel good, you play good, you play good to pay good. Sometimes you just have to improve the situation around the athlete to get the best from them. And I think this is the beginning of it. So I'm happy, man. I'm excited for it. I'm really, really excited for it. What else we got? So, we'll talk about the scores here in a second. The CIAA as well. has some scores. But before we do that,
and just protect your homecoming, bro. That is what I want everybody to leave here. Homecoming is important, boy. And for Jackson, Jackson and Grambling are two, if not the two biggest HBCU football schools in the world. And for them to lose their homecoming game on the same weekend, it can happen to you.
No, I hope none of them football players is online. Lord Jesus. In other HBCU news, former NFL star Antonio Cromartie joins the St. Augustine's University football coaching staff as a defensive analyst. So it seems like he's getting his foot into coaching. Cromartie has publicly said he enjoys coaching. He coached his children's youth football leagues, as well as he gives back to his alma mater, works at Florida State DBs as well. So for him to go to St. Aug is awesome. Hopefully that will raise the profile of the school. And I like that he's starting as a defensive analyst to learn how to coach before trying to move up and do something that he may be in over his skis with.
Shout out to Crow. Excellent football player. I think it's a fantastic opportunity. And as a guy who it's not something he has to do. He has plenty of money. He has a massive family. So he's taking.
Does he have plenty of money?
To do this. Yeah.
We don't count pockets, but I mean, I know how much one kid costs.
Yeah, but he does. And yeah, just happy for this. Thank you. We appreciate it. We need as much of this as we can get. And every time that one of you guys do it, we're going to talk about it. And please, when y'all get a chance, if y'all see them on TV or y'all can go see them in person, support St. Aug.
Let me ask you a question.
Shoot.
Because I don't want to be a hypocrite.
Uh-oh.
If he goes down there and all of a sudden St. Augustine's DBs turn into their division best. They lead the division, the conference in interceptions, pass breakups, and it's clearly because of his coaching or his expertise. And he gets the chance to move up. Let's say he moves up to Central or he moves up to another school, a bigger HBCU, another tier, SWAC, MEAC type school. And he does well. Mm-hmm. If as a defensive coordinator, defensive coach or whatever, but not a head coach, would we feel the same type of frustration if he were to leave and go to a Division I school if they came and got him like LSU or Florida State came and got him versus him staying in HBCUs? Will we still be as hurt? Because I see the pipeline starting. To finish my question, I see the pipeline starting of coaches starting HBCUs, especially black coaches, and moving their way up, especially younger coaches.
So my first question is he an analyst? Is he a position coach? Is he a coordinator? Or is he the head coach? Because with each one of those, the responsibility and the duty of care is going to be different, in my opinion.
I said he would. Oh, you talking about if he goes to the Division I, whatever he is?
Yes.
I don't know. We assume it's not a demotion.
Okay, so maybe the next progression would be like a position coach. So if he's the DB coach at like Central or somewhere like that, then I have less angst with him going somewhere else. But if you're going to be the head coach, there's a different level of upheaval that comes with you being the head coach and then you just going somewhere else versus you being a position coach and going somewhere else.
Wait, so if he were the head coach, what's up, Worthy? If he were the head coach, if he became, let's say he works his way up and becomes the head coach of St. Aug, we'll keep using Cromartie for the discussion. And then
my next question is, if he's the head coach, how long was he there?
I mean, I don't know. Doesn't matter. He's the head coach. And then another school, bigger school comes calling. Will we still be just as mad at him for leaving as we were at Deion?
It depends on how long he stays. If he was to stay 4 or 5 years, get through a recruiting class and then leave, nope. Hey, you gave him 4 or 5 years of your time. You put him in a position where they should be sustainable, and then you move on. I have no issues with that. But if you don't even make it through your if you don't make it through a class, I think that in many cases, you may increase the notoriety, but I'm still not sure if you're doing more good than harm. Like for me,
is that unfair to put on the coach? Is that unfair to put on him though? Because if it were a PWI and you were at, let's just whatever school, FIU, right? Lane Kiffin signed a 10-year deal with FIU and said, I'm gonna bring them back. And then 2 years later, he left and went to Mississippi, and everybody was cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it fair for us to put that on black colleges and black college coaches? Like, you have to stay here 4 to 6 years, otherwise, and don't elevate yourself if you get the opportunity.
So there are a couple different things about what you said there. Number one, yes. As an HBCU, I expect you to treat the HBCUs differently than you treat everybody else. Number two, and I can't speak to St. Aug specifically. I can only speak to more of the Deion situation. Deion had never coached in college football, ever. None. We gave him an opportunity to his first job to be a head coach. If somebody does you a solid, I'm a firm believer that you should do them a solid as well. If not for Jackson State, Deion doesn't have a place to coach. He doesn't have a place that's going to say, Colorado was not talking to Deion, and their program was trash, and they weren't taking his phone calls. So, yeah, if we're like, Cromartie is a different situation because he's going in as an analyst. He looks to take more of a natural coaching progression. So that's the reason it's a little bit different. Deion,
minus the progression.
Huh?
I understand what you're saying about Deion, but minus the progression. Let's say Cromartie progresses all the way up to St. Augustine head coach, right? In a quick time. I don't know what's quick. Let's say he becomes St. Aug's head coach, and a bigger school comes calling 18 months later. Florida State, Florida, hell.
So anybody. You're saying like, okay, he's a defensive analyst for this season. Next season, he's the head coach. And then the next season he leaves?
Or the next season, he's defensive coordinator. Then the next season, he's the head coach. And then 18 months after he becomes head coach, then he's like, well, I'm out. Will we still have the same visceral reaction to him that we did to Deion?
Not me. Not me, because he would have done like 4 years in St. Aug at that point. That's the reason I'm asking you. Like, if you do the 4 or 5 years, then I'm gonna tell you a person who's about to be up for that opportunity, even though I don't. At this point, like if Eddie George left in a year or so, I'm not tight. I think that he's come in, he's built that program brick by brick. He's made sure that he participated in not only the school but the city to make sure that there have been. A lot of the things that happened with the Titans, I think, were at the behest of Eddie George. So he's put systems and processes in place for this to be sustainable. I think that's the bigger issue. But anybody
you think Deion was gutted? Because Eddie George has been there for 2 years now. This is his second year.
Yes. If he does another 2 years.
Well, third year.
Yeah. So if he does another year or two, I'm fine with Eddie George. But
so the cap is 4 to 5 years. Like if you stay 4 to 5 years, then we won't be mad. So, but if you're offered the opportunity at year 2, we're gonna be mad if you take it.
Well, the other part is that Deion came in with a message of God sent me and I'm building men, and then it was like, oh, I'm out.
So you're more mad at Deion for how he left and what he said, wolf tickets, alleged wolf tickets, versus if he would have just left and said, I'm coming down here to work, and then left after 2 years, we would have been cool with it.
I would have been cooler with it. But yes, the Dion persona definitely added to the turmoil. Whether you came in under that, I'm here, God sent me. That's a sensitive subject, specifically for Black people, because a lot of times we have people who are not good messengers. They'll use God as a conduit. So for you to come in, be there basically 2 seasons, and then dip, and then the way that you left was unceremonious. Oh, I got Louis bags. I'm over here. All of that. It's not going to endear you to people. And you got to remember, you got a degree from an HBCU, and the HBCU gave you an opportunity that nobody else gave you. So, and even with that, what did I say? I said I'm not going to hate on Dion in Colorado. We just got to see. And I think that we're seeing. This is what it. This is a realistic situation now. Now that things are starting to fall how I think realistically they should, that's life. When it's up, it's easy.
We'll get there. I don't necessarily agree with. We'll get there. I think they blew the game more. They shouldn't have lost that last game. But moving on in HBCU, shout out to Antonio Cromartie. We hope you do really, really well. FAMU's Jalen Glaze lands an NIL deal with Krispy Kreme. FAMU is doing the thing. They are winning on the field. They are winning off the field as well. He lands an NIL deal with Krispy Kreme in Tallahassee. Of course, he also has a code to where you can get discounted donuts if you mention his name in Tallahassee. Shout out to FAMU, man. One of the biggest things that alumni tell me is that Tallahassee celebrates Florida State so much. They celebrate Florida State. There's a sign for Florida State, all of this stuff, and FAMU has to fight for every type of recognition and apparently money from the state of Florida. So the fact that they are now being recognized by some of these businesses out here, I hope it's just the beginning. And shout out to Jalen Glaze and shout out to FAMU's athletic department for putting this together.
Yeah, they are grinding. They're doing the work. That's one thing that I appreciate about them. They market themselves well. They have a plan, and they're getting it done like that. Like the LeBron, and that's the reason where brand recognition is so important. LeBron on your jerseys changes the conversations that you have. And if you see that piece by piece every day, then yeah, this is looking, and that's the reason they have one of the best programs in the country. They are them in North Carolina Central are not just good HBCU football teams. They're just playing out good football teams. That's it.
Good athletic. Central is athletic. Their whole thing is good in terms
You're right.
of athletic.
Because their basketball team ain't no slouch either.
So shout out to Jalen Glazer, man. Give you a round of applause. Man, that was loud. We'll turn that down a little bit. So shout out to them as well. And of course, shout out to Voorhees to join the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference. Effective July 1st, 2024. They were unanimously approved by the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference's Council of Presidents. It marks a historic moment for Voorhees and the entire conference. So shout out to them, man. They are now the GCAC now has their footprint in the Atlantic states.
Fantastic. Yeah, we want more of this. And good luck. Go win some games.
Yeah, man. So hopefully they can go win some games. But again, this just allows for more financial stability. I went and read some of the articles about the HBCUs when they join other conferences, specifically Hampton joined the CAA, A&T joining the CIAA, and other times that schools have left. And why they stay in those conferences is because those conferences offer financial stability when it comes to the athletic department. So especially when you're a Voorhees trying to get bigger and trying to ascend to the next level of a next tier of HBCU, joining a PWI conference, a GCAC, affords you those opportunities.
Sustainability is fundamentally important for any learning institution, specifically HBCUs, specifically since we've been underfunded and not been paid the money that we've been deserved basically from day one. So yes, if we can find a way to make money and to continue to make money, there's no way you can't support that.
Yeah, man. In other scores, I think I think some beers got to be old. There's some beers that are old, brother.
I gotta do my count up here.
Let's go to.
I had a terrible week. I might have lost my whole fortune this weekend.
You lost a lot.
I feel like
but it wasn't as bad as me last week. But again, Howard, we told y'all Howard was gonna lose to Harvard. They beat them 48-7, although we were going for them. South Carolina State, y'all got beat by Tennessee Tech 28-7, dog. 28-7. That is just unreal. And Tennessee State beats Norfolk State. Reggie gets 6 on that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I see. I owe you 6 for Tennessee, Texas A&M. I owe you another 6 for the Bengals.
You did.
That's 12.
But yeah, we didn't bet the Norfolk State, Tennessee State game. I thought we bet that game, but that's fine.
Yeah, but I can't see I hadn't seen the score on that one. Did I lose that one too?
Yeah, I had Tennessee State. You picked Norfolk State. Isn't that right?
No. Me and you bet Rodney. Rodney took Norfolk State.
Now, so that's why I get the beers. Okay, yeah. Rodney, Rod, what's up, brother? We saw you in the crowd early. Hey, man, I just know I lost 5 12-packs 5 6-packs last week. I'm on the rebound now.
My cash right was heavy last week. I can't lie, I felt good.
So, but again, in the MEAC, Norfolk State lost. Hey, Tennessee State, come on back to the MEAC. Y'all already dominating. I'm telling you, Tennessee State stands to make more money coming back to the MEAC, in my opinion, just because of the ability to travel within your region.
Thank you, Eddie. And this is the thing that I think for me frustrates me more than anything. You got Dion, and yeah, I'm about to talk about him again. He gets all this notoriety for what he did in Jackson State. Great. Came and went. Eddie George has invested the time into really building a program focused on being an instrumental part of the program, but also he's not, I hate to say it, he's not Diddy in this thing.
Nope.
He's not all in the video.
It's about
the
school.
He's not dancing all the time. He's making it about the school. He's making it about, the football players. You see Eddie George, but you don't really see Eddie George. I'm a football coach. I'm going to coach this team. That's it.
He's a little bit more than a football coach, because you knew that from what he's experienced going to Ohio State, playing in the NFL for so long, the standards at which he's used to being around in terms of facilities, in terms of operations, probably wasn't there for Tennessee State when he got there. And I'm not saying that as a dig to Tennessee State. I'm just saying we HBCUs have to work with what we have, right? What I'm saying is
I consider that a harsh reality.
Exactly. And what I'm saying is he came in there and did the work. When he was on ESPN, what did he talk about? We're trying to work with the Tennessee State administration, and we have specialists coming in to talk about land grants. He talked about the football team for 10 minutes, talked about those land grants for 20. And he said, we're getting the land grants in order to make sure that we can call our campus historic, we can get more money, and we can invest and spread our footprint in Nashville as well as in
and it wasn't just even about that school. It's about HBCUs as a whole. He said HBCUs have been underfunded. The ones in Tennessee, all of them. Eric, that is how you do it. He is putting on a master class of how to be aware. Like, he's really aware of, like, the things that I do have influence. The words that I say have influence. The way that I handle things is going to have an influence. And at every corner so far, knock on wood, because you don't ever know what people got going on in their personal life, but he been kicking ass. And I just, for me personally, I don't think that he's gotten the respect, the appreciation, or the notoriety that he should have, because it's not, he ain't selling. It's not selling you anything.
I told y'all, I put on my conspiracy hat on Saturday. I think they are coming back to. I think they're coming to the MEAC pretty soon. Let's go ahead and finish. We talked about SWAC. We talked about MEAC. We got to talk about CIAA. Fayetteville State beats Livingstone 19-14. Johnson C. Smith beats St. Aug. As we were talking about Antonio Cromartie. He is now going to be the DB coach, and Johnson C. Smith beat them. Lincoln in Pennsylvania, not the Lincoln that played Southern and lost 45-7. Lincoln beat Elizabeth City State. I ain't heard that name in a while. I used to go there for the freshman parties at Hampton.
I've been down over Elizabeth City every 45 minutes. It's a short ride down the road now.
Elizabeth City State won, and look at Union. Union beat Bowie State, and of course, Bowie had all of those things happen with homecoming. And Morgan State, they all partnered together. Bowie got beat by Virginia Union 52-3, and then Winston-Salem State beat Shaw, and Virginia State beat Bluefield, which is in Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to the CIAA putting on a good product, a really good product.
And before we get out of here, man, lastly, this is the third week in a row, unfortunately, we've had to talk about something like this. We want to send thoughts and prayers to Jackson State. Unfortunately, they had a person shot and killed on campus, or around campus, excuse me, in the last couple of days. So that makes now what was that? Bowie,
Morgan,
Jackson State, and Morgan. Man, and that's another homecoming, bro. Leave your gun at home at homecoming, please.
Yeah, there's no need for it. No need for it. We trying to go back the same way that we came, man. Go back the same way we came. But with that being said, T's and P's out to Jackson State. With that being said, we come to the end of our HBCU news around the culture segment. Y'all go freshen up, use the bathroom, take about 2 minutes, get you another beverage, and we'll be back to talk about football.
Hold up. The upsets is not over. Go ahead, pour you a big tall glass or whatever you prefer to drink. We are about to go on an adventure of disappointment, an adventure of upsets. We not covering all the games, but every game we're covering, it has some old shit with it. And that's what it is.
Yeah, boy. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our football segment of episode 124 of SplashCast Monday Night Raw, the Around the League edition. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. We just finished our HBCU news around the culture, and we are now going to talk about, I call it Separation Saturday. I don't know about the NFL, but for football, boy, it was a lot of great value out there. It was a lot of non-name brand football played this weekend. We'll get into some of these games, but first, okay, so Ohio State played Purdue. Yeah, Ohio State beat the shit out of Purdue. Cool. If you are the kicker for the team, the kicker missed 3 field goals during missed 3 field goals that day against Ohio State. A random student was selected and tried it out and made 3 field goals during a timeout, including a 40-yarder. Now, RIP Mike Leach. If y'all remember, Mike Leach had tryouts for Texas Tech when he was the coach there because the kicker missed the game-winning field goal and missed a bunch of extra points. And he had tryouts, open tryouts the next day. at the school. I think Purdue may be doing the same thing.
No, call him. Call him. Hey, Bucko, we got a spot for you if you want to play a little football. What we can do is get you on over here, warm you up, and see if you can do what you did. If you can make that magic happen again. If you can do it consistently, we'd love to have you, my boy. Come on by. We'll leave a light on for you, like Tom Bodette said.
So he had 30 seconds. Oh, and he was under the clock, so y'all can see right here. He had 30 seconds to hit all these field goals. It was from 20, 30, and 40 yards. So he made 2. Oh, that's the pick. I'm sorry. He made and then he goes back to the 30-yard line with 15 seconds to go and kicks the field goal. I think, and he made it. Yeah. So he made 3 field goals under pressure. But Purdue's kicker misses a 27-yarder, a 48-yarder. Come on now. Woo! That one wasn't even close. And then he also missed a 39-yarder.
I'm getting cooked.
And this was before half. I'd have called this dude. I'd have called this guy at halftime. Like, hey, come on, big dog.
Hey, can y'all check his eligibility real quick? Compliance. I know it's a Saturday, but we need you. We need you to work today.
Yeah. So shout out to him. Moving on. So, and I don't remember who was the first. I'm gonna say it was Alabama, but I think they may have been the first mainstream school to do it. But there's always Alabama did the heavyweight championship belt every time that you got a turnover. You got the championship belt. And then it took off. Kirby went to Georgia, did the Savage Pads. You had Miami.
I remember those
with the turnover chain. Georgia has the Savage Pads. Miami has had the turnover chain and the touchdown rings and the something glasses and all of that stuff. Now, Dion has the turnover throne. There's Tennessee had an epic fail with the turnover trash can. I don't know what that was. But
they should put their game in there. But
a lot of times, well, they won me a 6-pack. A lot of times, there's another side to these props, and if you don't do what you're supposed to do on the field, the visiting team may make you look foolish. FIU played UTEP. FIU has a Lambo that when you score or have a defensive turnover, you go take a picture in front of the Lambo, and they have a Lambo at the stadium. UTEP's defense took a photo with the Lambo with the Florida International Lambo after they had a turnover, and after that, I think they won this game, if I'm not mistaken, against FIU at FIU. Hey man, sometimes things can be used against you.
Look at my man here. This is when he's like, wait. There it is. Let's go to the Lambo, baby. Turn up. Oh, yeah.
Ain't nobody touch it, though. It's cool. That security guard was like, don't touch it, though, now.
Hey, don't you touch that Lambo. He got one job. David, like, yeah, they put me on Lambo duty. It's an easy job. Hey, don't you touch that. That's the one job.
I bet you the coach is like, please don't touch that Lambo. Please don't touch that Lambo. But, hey, man, this is the side of it. Yeah. This the side of it, though. This is what you get when you have props and you lose or you're losing. The other team is going to embarrass you. And he took his helmet off, too.
Absolutely. I'm next to a Lambo. They need to see my face. It's an NIL deal as soon as we get back to El Paso. No, not in El Paso. But, yeah, I support this type of thing and play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You think they park a Lambo near this field and I score and not take a photo with it?
Yeah. Especially from you.
Better hope I don't have my damn phone with me. I'll be the one.
Nah, you can't pull a Joe. You can't pull a Joe Horn. Can't pull a Joe Horn. I'll get you fired. I'll get you scholarship took. Of course, other games happen. Georgia won. We're talking about Georgia just because that's my team. Georgia won, but they lost. They won 37-20 over Vanderbilt. They lost because they allowed Vanderbilt to score 20 points, including on the opening drive on a 40-yard slant. The offense Still looks good, except for my man Brock Bowers, who rightfully so is in the Heisman discussion as of now, as the best tight end in college football, possibly the best tight end in Georgia football history, maybe SEC football history.
I mean, yeah, I guess right.
He is gonna have tightrope surgery on his ankle, and he's out 4 to 6 weeks, which would put him back right for the SEC championship, assuming Georgia can hold it in the road. The bad part about this is our schedule includes Florida, Tennessee, Ole Miss, and Georgia Tech left, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what's left for us. So we go into the Florida game. You know how rivalry games are, especially because Florida won their game, but we'll get there. They got a little bit of confidence. Rivalry games, and they got a bad taste in their mouth for how Georgia has beaten them the last couple years. I'm kind of nervous about our offense without Brock Bowers.
Oh, you should be. You very well should be. You should be nervous about a lot of things. I don't have the same vibes that I've had in the past about your team. I've voiced my true fear/respect. I don't feel that way about your team.
Oh, and we got to play Missouri. That's the team I miss. Missouri.
I think that, and y'all haven't looked like you looked the last 2 years.
I mean, that's to be expected when you have a new coordinator, new everything. You got new everything on offense. New running backs, new coordinator, new quarterback, new wide receivers. Correct. Brock Bowers and Ladd McConkey were the only holdovers. Ladd, you went right on down that depth chart. Robert, I came in. Marcus Jackson, Rose Saint came in. He was already there. It looks tough, but luckily we do get a week off.
No. Stay right there. I told y'all Ladd wasn't trash.
No, he's not trash. He was hurt. He was hurt the whole year. He has a lingering knee problem.
Let's do, and I think that we can do this because I think that we have two parallels. Ricky Pearsall from Florida, Ladd McConkey from Georgia. I think that Ricky wipes the floor with Ladd McConkey. Same guy.
I'm gonna be real honest with you. I don't follow Florida close enough to know anything about Ricky Pearsall other than that you like him. That I don't know nothing about Pretty Ricky. He made that catch and got hit because y'all quarterback is ass, and that's really it. But I don't know. I don't know. All I know is Ladd McConkey is one of the most consistent receivers that Georgia has had. He really doesn't drop the ball at all. He runs the correct routes, and before the knee injury, he was pretty fast. Of course, in what's his name's system, everybody was wide open, and when you have 35 stars, right? you can throw the ball to anybody. But not to bury the lead, man. Brock Bowers being hurt makes me nervous because we play Florida, Missouri, Ole Miss, Tennessee 4 weeks in a row after our bye week. The good thing is we have a bye week. But if we can get through that gauntlet unscathed to get to Georgia Tech, to play Georgia Tech, and then we can get through. If we can get through undefeated here and come back healthy, that's tough. That would be that I wouldn't say masterful. That'd be really good coaching. Because right now our offense is 60% Brock.
I will 100% give you credit for that.
If that happens, because I'm nervous.
I think you should be.
Now, defensive wise, our defense is starting to, everybody's getting healthy, which is good. Offensive wise, I think what sucks about this Brock, man, I'll move on. What sucks about this Brock Bowers injury is that our offense finally started clicking. We finally was, averaging 300 yards and 30 something points, and we was scoring. We had just beat Kentucky 51-13 or whatever that was. We were cooking, and then Brock got hurt. I was like, dog. So hopefully we can hold it in the road and just get to the SEC championship and get Brock there. All right. Got through the news. Let's get to the gas station sushi. Of course, the game on Friday. First off, NCAA, Pac-12, Big 12, ACC. Whoever y'all want these two teams to be affiliated with as we talk about this. Let me tell y'all something. Colorado played Stanford on Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Friday. That to me was a scheduling blunder. Well, not when you made the schedule, because you knew both these teams weren't going to be that good. But once you saw, well, maybe not. Once you saw Deion and the marketing that he has, maybe it was good to give him a day by himself. Well, it really wasn't by himself. He was the second game. I don't know. If it wasn't for Deion, I know I wouldn't be watching this. I wouldn't have stayed up to watch this game.
You have to. Like, so my thing with that is, sure, Deion is a marketing I don't know if
he's a brand.
Somebody over there,
very good brand.
Somebody is and I was having this conversation. His son, the oldest son, does not get enough credit.
Oh, Deion Sanders Jr.? Well-off media.
Yeah, he's the one that has really masterminded, I assume, we're assuming, of course, but put this together. Like, he's the person who's taping everything. He's the person who's getting all of the content. He is packaging this content elitely, and he's putting it together. And it's not just here in Colorado. He was doing the same thing in Jackson State. And that's a young guy. So, but he doesn't play, so nobody really sees him. You see
Shador and Shiloh.
Yeah, Shiloh. But he's as important as anybody. And the consistency between the schools is where I truly give him credit. Nothing has fallen off. He's picked the spots perfectly. But that, I don't know that you could have accounted for it being this good. And the other part is, there are teams that you have to take care of before you get to Colorado. Dan Lanning was kind of right with what he said. I know that people didn't necessarily like it, but what has Colorado really done for the Pac-12? You got to take care of USC first. You got to take care of UCLA. You got to take care of Oregon. You got to take care of Oregon State. You got to take care of Washington. In the protocol order, you're a 10 o'clock game, big dog.
Did we bet that Oregon State game? I know I picked Oregon State. You picked UCLA. I don't know if we put 6 on it.
I didn't think that either one of us felt confident enough in that to bet.
Yeah, and Russ, I see you, man. Kendall Milton is back. We just got a couple other players back for Georgia. Robertson is coming back. Our run game should pick up. I do like how
Michael
you
Parsons got
rocked. Yes, he did.
I do like Justin Herbert said, "Oh, he on the ground. I can run right there."
I do like how Georgia is gonna. They should be getting healthy. But back to Deion, man. You're right. His son is the mastermind behind the brand management and recognition. Colorado's AD had a prime jacket that had Deion Sanders' face on his jacket that was gifted to him by Deion and Well-Off Media. It is tough. I don't know why you put the face there, but Rick George, Colorado athletic director, and it has prime on the collar. This whole game, if
it's been a long time since you seen a man there.
Happy to have another
so
man.
Many race jokes I just want to make here, but I'm going to step above and around them. But yeah, I bet you probably won't wear that jacket no more either.
Nah, but I mean, from what they took advantage of this opportunity to play on ESPN or Fox.
He probably wearing that jacket his sleep as much money as he didn't made over there. That's the thing. Rick George don't care if they win or lose. The clicks is there.
The money is 600
there. Yeah, they went from some small number of people following them to over like 1 million people following their Instagram. The money is up, baby. Win, lose, or draw, we win. The money is there.
Yes, sir. So I mean, the atmosphere was there. Of course, Deion had the celebrities there, and then, before we get to the game, they had all the scouts at the game. They had 32 scouts. No, I'm sorry, that was Oregon, Washington. They had 32 teams there from I'm sorry, they had 13 teams at the Stanford versus Colorado game. They had a bunch of people looking at Shador. Shiloh played.
Need to be looking at that wide receiver that went bonkers.
And of course, the Atlanta Falcons were there. And this is what Deion had to say.
Family, we family.
Tell him what I told you.
Hey, we gonna get
No,
them Sanders
tell him
boys.
exactly what I told you.
Hey, we ain't coming back unless we bringing the Sanders boys to both of them.
That's all I'm saying. Hey, how y'all feel about that? Hey, how y'all feel about that?
Okay. It'll definitely be good for the city.
Brother.
Now, I will say Deion is a master about putting his kids on. He does not, as much self as we say he talks about, he always going to talk about his kids. He always going to try to put them in the best place to in the best light. And he knows that Desmond Ridder ain't it. That's why you had that conversation. He knows that Desmond Ridder and everybody in Falcon, there's no way your ears aren't to the street in Atlanta. And he knows that about our fans. He knows that we're frustrated by the coach and we're frustrated by the quarterback. And Deion and having another Sanders in Atlanta leading the Falcons would be, it's super up. It'd be a party in Atlanta every day.
Yeah.
It
would be. I can't deny that.
Yep. So again, now
but this is the other part. This is the reason people are saying that you're doing things for clicks, and this is the reason people are coming in to want to punch you in the mouth.
Yeah.
Like it or don't like it, that is the type of stuff that comes with this type of stuff.
It's true. It's true. So Colorado actually started off 29-0. You think they all coming to Atlanta, Mike? Colorado started out 29-0. Deion was joking at halftime. He was laughing. And all of the sudden, Colorado gets outscored 46-14 and loses against Stanford, who was 1-4 at the time, 0-3 in the Pac-12. And of course, there's a lot of people that are hating, saying so tired of hearing about Colorado, which, if you're the fan of another, especially if you're in the Pac-12, I think we don't really feel some type of way because we don't respect that conference as a whole, football-wise, in today's climate. But if I were a fan of UCLA or Oregon State or whatever Pac-12 team, and I like you said, I can understand why people are upset. But on a football standpoint, Deion as the coach, you can't allow your team to lose after being up 29. I'm gonna round it up to 30. You can't allow your team to lose.
And I want to. The first part is 29-0. It's already late, as Reggie told y'all. So if it was 10 o'clock Eastern Standard, it's 9 o'clock Central Standard. I see 29-0. I check out. I actually go lay it on down. I'm like, we got to get up in the morning, do Saturday morning live. Let me get some rest. I'll check out everything in the morning and see how things play out. Let me tell you. When I woke up, because I get up early on Saturdays, flip that phone over. When you see something on your phone and you like, nah, that ain't true. So of course I see Colorado State upset. I'm like, bruh, stop playing. Now I gotta open my phone and I have to go check this for myself. And sure enough, they blew the game.
Not only did they blow the game, they let one person
destroy them.
They let one person beat them. Go ahead.
And not only that, I mean, I've heard a lot of people say that Travis Hunter played too many plays coming off injuries. I think that might be true. They say he played another 100 and something plays. Man,
Yeah, he was tired. He was tired at. That was the first time I saw him tired. But
and that's the other part is when you have an injury like he has, you can't really keep your endurance up. When you're playing football every day, you're running, it's not the end of the world. But when you stop playing football for 2 weeks and you're not running, you just kind of got to let your body heal. When you finally get back out there, it's gonna take him a couple of games before he gets his legs and his wind back to where it was from the summer.
Well, let me tell you something.
That other kid, he got some eyes.
I'm gonna tell you which is
about elite marketing is it's cool when they do it, but now these other guys, every game that they play here going out, these guys know this is an opportunity for me to sell myself. If I go out here and I dominate Colorado, it's a fantastic chance for me to be seen by a bunch of scouts. It's life.
And Alec A.O. Maynor is his name. His name is Alec A.O. Maynor. ELICAYOMANOR. Alec A.O. Maynor had 13 catches for 294 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he was guarded by every DB. He was guarded by Travis Hunter the whole game. Now, Travis Hunter may have gotten tired, but that technique, I think it was more about technique. He was running right by Travis Hunter. And Travis Hunter played really well on offense, but I think he's a better DB than he is receiver. I think receiver-wise, he's just a better athlete than a lot of people, than most humans. But Ashton Daniels, the quarterback, had 396 yards passing. 294 of them went to one person. A.O. Maynor had the catch where he caught it off. He pinned it to the back of Travis Hunter's helmet and caught it. That was real bad. They just had the game of their lives. And as I actually stayed up and watched this whole game, and I was like, hey, they're up 29-0, and they went 3 and out I said, Stanford was moving the ball down the field at the end of the half. I was like, this don't look like 29-0. And Colorado came out and went 3 and out. And they pinned Stanford at the 4-yard line. And the next play, they threw the ball. They went down and scored, and then they got pinned at the 4-yard line after another 3 and out. And Stanford down 29-7. Alec A. Maynor, who had 13 catches, 294 yards, had a 96-yard touchdown catch to make it 29-14 with 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. I said, Colorado is in trouble. And Deion, as the coach, if you're going to be a CEO coach and you're not going to call the plays on offense, you're not going to call the plays on defense, you're not going to pick what you do on special teams. As the CEO coach, you have to tell your offensive coordinator when it's okay and when it's not okay to go fast. That defense got torched by Stanford because the offense went 3 and out like 5 times in a row. And when you do that, no huddle rush, and you hang your defense out to dry, I'd love to see how many defensive plays they played in the second half alone. They got absolutely outplayed and out-torched in the second half. They had no wind after the midway point through the third quarter. The defense had no wind, and it was just a track. It was 7-on-7 football after that. And they scored, and the only reason they scored is because Colorado had a little bit of pride. But once you up 29-0 and all of a sudden you up, 29-28, the game is over with.
You're just trying to survive at that point.
Yeah, man. So, Stanford had 34 minutes of possession to Colorado's 25. But remember, they were down 29-0 in the first half. So most of their possession came in the second half. And that's when they lost. Go ahead. What were you about to say?
I wanted to check one final thing with them. But one thing that I haven't really seen accounted for much is I can't see how many times he was sacked. Hold on. Let me go over to
Shador?
Yes. sacked again 4 times. So 4 more sacks this game and a ton of penalties. Like an ungodly amount of penalties. I think 17 penalties this game. They're consistently getting sacked. Yeah, 17 penalties for 127 yards. Out of the 7 games they played, they've had more penalties than the other team 6 times. In the majority of these games, they're also not getting the same level of pass rush as their competitors. So you're going to give up 4 or 5 sacks a game and have more penalties? Deion, that's coaching. Penalties, specifically penalties. You can't have 17 penalties for 127 yards. Don't look left. Don't look right. Look at yourself.
Oh, speaking of that, hey, brother, Deion, you can't be throwing your players under the bus and separating yourself from your team in bad, right? You can't say I've never been a part of a game where I've been up 29. Somebody got hurt. I've been up 29 points and lost these guys, and then follow that statement up with these guys have to decide whether they like football or love football. That statement is now putting the onus on them. They didn't have to decide whether they liked to love football when they was up 29-0. So why did they got to decide that you knew then? But at some point you got to take that.
Them your Louis bags that you brought from Jackson State and said, hey, everybody else get the hell on. So when there was your Louis bags, you need to own up and say, no, this is us. And I think that somebody along the way said that he did eventually say something about, taking some of the responsibility.
He did after, but it was too late for me.
Way too late by then. It was way too much. I and them, they. It's a lot less we. When things are going well, it's we. We gonna do this. We gonna do this. This is gonna happen.
French.
And then immediately, when things go real bad, it's them. That is the person who I rock with the absolute least. When things get bad, it's suddenly, that's them and that's me. Nah, it's us. It's always got to be us. I got to trust you enough that it's us no matter what.
We in the foxhole together, bro. So I think Deion, I know he realized he said something wrong. Or he didn't, what he said came out. Wow, the Cowboys, they just got bad luck. But what he said probably came off wrong. So Colorado's got some soul searching to do, because they're not supposed to lose that game. The thing about Colorado that we did give them kudos for is that they were winning the games that they were supposed to. Well, this was a game you were supposed to win and you didn't. So they got some stuff to do. Woo! Elsewhere,
I also want to this is what this team is gonna be.
Yes, Mike. Deion struggles with accountability. Yes.
Fair. For me, this is always what this team was going to be. This is a team that was 1-11 last year. And then suddenly you win a couple games. You start out the season with an upset, which in hindsight, they look about regular as can be. But it's just one of those situations where a couple games and now you have a different level of expectation. You got, that was always my thing, and I've been called the hater a million times about Deion for whatever reason. I just had realistic expectations. I look today, I think they're ranked 50 out of 133 teams. This is a regular team. This is a team that's made vast improvements. I'll be the first person to say that. Vast improvements from where they came to where they are now. But at the same time, I won $100 this weekend because somebody told me that they were going to be top 25. I know that's toast now. I'm just waiting on my money to hit the cash app.
Yeah. Of course, hype always raises expectations. And defeat will always bring them right back down. They had two they've had 2 humiliating defeats, one against Oregon. People were talking about, can they win the Pac-12, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Oregon put those to bed, so those expectations got brought right back down. And now, blowing this lead to Stanford, the expectations are even lower. So, they have definitely unfortunately, we'll never know how well they are in the Pac-12 because they go into the Big 12 next year with no Texas or Oklahoma. So,
the other part about this is this is going to it's potentially could get real bad here. They got to play UCLA, who needs to win. They cannot afford to lose to Colorado. Need Oregon State, who's probably trying to win out and try to see if they can play themselves back into a game of contention. You have Arizona, who just had a massive upset on, who did they upset? Washington State. Then you have Washington State and Utah. You might have saw your last win. You might. Okay, this is what I will say. There's a high chance that they're no longer favorites for the rest of the season.
Yeah. I think they law of averages say that they probably get to bowl eligibility. 6 wins, right?
Who you think they you gotta think 3 of these teams are top 25.
Ooh, for now. UCLA just lost.
I mean, they're gonna play UCLA next.
What's UCLA right now?
25.
The new polls came out. Pause.
Yes.
I think that I think the style of play lends them to be able to stick with Oregon State. So that gets them to 5 wins. Then you have Arizona.
Wait, do you want to bet? I'll bet 24 on Oregon State right now.
No, I'm not betting that now. I'm not betting 24, and I'll bet it when we get there because Oregon State is a pro-style offense, and honestly, I don't believe in DJ Uiagalelei because he hasn't played great. They just run the ball and play good defense, which is how you beat Colorado if you can stop their passing attack. And also
one more thing about this season. If you really look at this season, I know I'm gonna get called a hater for this. It ain't really that impressive. You beat TCU, congrats. You struggle with Nebraska.
Yeah, you sound like a hater.
You barely beat Colorado State, trash team. Whooped by Oregon. You got a lot of respect for me with USC. You barely beat Arizona State, and then you blew a 29-point lead to a 1-win team. Like,
that's not fair because they were a 1-win team last year. I don't understand. Like I don't.
No. I'm talking about they're one. For who? I'm talking about Stanford, who was a 1-win team this season.
Let's put on our listening ears. Colorado was a 1-win team last year that then turned over pretty much the entire football program. They turned over the coaches. They turned over 85% of the roster. And now it's probably like 95% because 2 of those dudes that stayed just left into the transfer portal. So I don't think that their season is a failure. I think that the fact that they've gotten this far, if they get bowl eligible, I'll say that it's an impressive season. I think they've succeeded in the grand scheme of building a program this season already by winning 4 games. Because whether you think TCU was good or not, they weren't really picked to beat TCU. They weren't. I mean, and honestly, if they were to play now, I don't think a lot of people would pick them to beat TCU again. Like, both of them teams are mid, so they weren't picked to beat TCU. They beat Colorado State. You know, it is what it is. And then they beat Arizona State and they lost to Oregon. Now, the Oregon, they again, expectations were lowered because they were clearly outclassed. And to go into Oregon and win is very, very difficult. And then USC don't have no team. So, I mean, don't have no defense. They basically play 11 on 11. I mean, 7 on 7. So, I'm not going to say they're not impressive. I am going to say that what will be impressive will be next year, depending on what they do. Because I don't know what Shador does. I don't know. You know, Travis Hunter's going to be back. You assume that all of these freshmen that have been making those big plays in spurts will be. Cormani McClain will start. Marion will probably be a starter. All of those things. But this year, I think it'll be impressive if they get bowl eligible. Now, I don't know who they get bowl eligible against, but I think
I was about to say
they got to get an upset. They got to get one upset.
They have had the ball bounce their way a few times this season. You know, it's just like shots. You use all your made shots early. The math gonna math back in the opposite direction.
Well, then they got to win something. They just blew a 30-point lead. They got to win something. Something about to bounce back the other way. They got to win something. So, but we'll see. Elsewhere in the Pac-12, the game of the day, game of the week was Washington versus Oregon. I think this was like 5 versus 6.
Hell of a game. Hell of a game.
This game lived up to the billing. This was what the Pac-12 envisioned the Pac-12 to be. High scoring, but hard-nosed football. I mean, they were hitting. I watched that whole game. They were hitting out there. Michael Penix Jr. played well. Bo Nix, hey, man, you didn't cost them the game. You didn't play bad. You played really, really well. This was 2 Heisman Trophy candidates put on a show this game, and the coaches played really, really well as well. Exactly.
This is the type of this is what you want to see. As a college football fan, this is what you truly appreciate. It was a game to the very end. I mean, I know the Oregon lost, but I don't really think that they should drop. We all waiting on the shoe to drop with Bo Nix. None of us, we all remember Auburn Bo Nix, and for him to not nix himself, I mean, or do we have to do you think you and I have to believe, and do you think this is what gets him drafted next year, first round?
First round? I definitely think he could be drafted first round. I think he would be this year's draft coming up. He would be Will Levis. I think he would be overhyped. They're gonna talk about his maturity, all of that stuff. I think that he will be bowl eligible. I mean, I'm reading the comments. He will get drafted. What I wanted to say about this game, Dan Lanning against Colorado went for it on 4th down every time in the first half, except for at the end of the first half when he started kicking field goals. And we got on him about it, and we were like, dang, dog, I mean, you sent the message. Now you're just trying to embarrass the man, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I thought he was just trying to embarrass Deion, but apparently this is who Dan Lanning is. In this game, Dan Lanning went for it on 4th down like 3 times instead of taking a field goal or instead of punting. And I think they made it one time. I think. Yes, they lost by 3 points. He didn't kick the field goal twice. So when that happens, touchdown Cowboys. Oh, boy, you can't get caught. You suck, Tony Pollard.
You're supposed to be fast. That's the reason they picked you and got rid of Zeke, and you got ran down. You're not supposed to get caught, my boy.
They about to kick a field goal. But Dan Lanning cost his team the game, in my opinion, going for it on 4th down so many times. It's almost like the Chargers, what the Chargers do. And then I hate to keep talking about Deion, but Deion is the Pac-12. I don't care what y'all say. If Deion made those same decisions to go for it on 4th down and not make it, we would be crucified. They would crucify Deion right now. And the fact that Dan Lanning did it in this game is such magnitude. That was poor coaching strategy in my opinion. Because points, even though you scored 36 of them, after the first 2 quarters, points were at a premium. You know what I mean? Yes. So it was tough.
Situational awareness. If you up and you going for 2, I still don't love it. That's one of the things that Arthur Smith talked about. You know, they killed him for going for 2, and he was like, we did it last year against LA twice, and y'all didn't say anything. That's how coaching goes, buddy. If you hadn't figured that part out, When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, they're going to fry your ass.
First off,
That's
Arthur,
it,
we did
Buffalo.
say something because we lost to LA last year when we did that. Unless he's talking about the Chargers. If he's talking about the Rams when you went for it, we lost that game and we lauded you about that. We didn't like that either, brother. So be careful about bringing up past fuck ups. We try to move past them. But go ahead.
Boy, Reggie is tight.
Yeah, nah, man. We don't forget shit.
But yeah, that. Dan, you didn't need this. You Mario Cristobal this. I know some players like, what are we doing?
Boy, yeah, that was a shot. It is what it is. Luckily, this team lost to Washington. The Pac-12 was in a unique position to where even a one-loss team could still get into the college football playoff because everybody's so good. It's just that one-loss team won't be USC because USC got destroyed by Notre Dame 48-20, and I am kicking myself because on Saturday Morning Live, I said, man, I really want to bet this game. Because I was like, Notre Dame at home, they just got embarrassed by Louisville. I said, dog, they may come out here, and if they play good defense, they could beat USC. I did not see 48-20, but I saw Notre Dame because USC has no defense. So I knew they weren't going to be able to stop Notre Dame. It was all as if Notre Dame could stop USC. And boy, did they. They frustrated Caleb Williams all night. And what's unfortunate for Caleb Williams is you had the primetime slot, my boy. Only other primetime game for real was Miami versus North Carolina. Like, at the end of the day, nobody was really watching that game. You know what I mean? Or Tennessee, Texas A&M. I think Florida and South Carolina was playing. Like, nobody really watched them games. You know what I mean? So, like, it
was your moment.
It was your moment. And Notre Dame put on a clinic. Now, Caleb Williams was 23 of 37 for 200 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions with a QBR of 55.7. We just said up there in Washington and Seattle, both those quarterbacks put on a show. And you went down there, and Notre Dame, every year you said what happens? They lose, and then they get hyped for the next year to be like number 2 or number 3. You know why? Because games like this happen.
This is how you do it.
This is how you create the hype machine.
Trick bag Tommy.
And Notre Dame really didn't do much on offense. I mean, Sam Hartman was 13 of 20 for 126 yards and 2 touchdowns. Estime was 22 carries for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, they only scored 4 touchdowns on offense. They had a kick return, and they had 3 interceptions.
This was bad. I'm disappointed. Notre Dame ain't a 48-point team. USC, sure as hell you can't.
You can't be no 20 team. You can't be no 20-point team as USC, dog.
And y'all just went down there and got rocked. And
look, hey, listen. The same thing you said about Deion with marketing is the same thing with Caleb Williams. He's everywhere. He's the Heisman. They talk about double Heisman. You know, he does the thing for mental awareness where he paints his fingernails, Wendy's, Beats by Dre. He's all over. Notre Dame went out there and sent a message. And now, a 2-loss and they played desperate. Notre Dame was desperate at the end of the day. USC could still get the benefit of the doubt if they went out convincingly. Because they still have to play Washington State. They still got to play UCLA.
I should have accounted for. No matter what, I'm picking USC 100 out of 100 times. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not. But when a team is desperate, back in a corner, head in a vice, you're right. Now, the thing about it is, that's the reason you pull up the schedule and you have games to play. You're right. They lost to Notre Dame, but they finish out the season with a very, very tough schedule. They win the rest of their games, they back in it. They still got to play Utah, who's number 14. They get a crack at Washington, who's number 5. You get a crack at Oregon, who's number 9, and you get UCLA. You went out.
No Oregon State.
No Oregon State.
That, trick. They almost lost that game last year against Oregon State.
Yeah.
Now,
You went out. You're back in it.
Yeah, you are, because you would have won the head-to-head against everything. So the Pac-12 is going to basically cannibalize itself. USC can basically ruin it for everybody.
Yeah. But that was always my thing is too many of these teams got to play.
But Oregon, no, man, that's gonna be a tough game for them, because you already see what a team with a defense can do to USC. Oregon got defense, and they big too. Pause if necessary.
The thing about it is, this is what you want if you believe in yourself. Caleb Williams, you got a chance to win a Heisman Trophy.
Mm-hmm.
USC, you got a chance to win a championship. But you have to be what you believe you are. You got to be able. You gotta win the games that you're supposed to. You had a tough one. You still got a chance. You got your mulligan, and that's all you can really ask for.
Yeah, man. So we'll see with USC, man. But that was a gut punch, and Notre Dame has played their way back into if USC loses again, or the Pac-12 can basically play themselves out of the playoff over the next few weeks. And Notre Dame, by beating USC, can put themselves potentially back in the playoff hunt.
Brandon touchdown. Cowboys.
Finally. Moving on.
Slugfest.
Hey, Alabama. Y'all struggled against Arkansas. Now, I think Arkansas, they were playing in Arkansas. But Alabama won 24-21, and that's always a tough game. Arkansas, once you get into interleague play in any conference, it's going to be tough because of familiarity, playing against each other all the time,
and not having a quarterback.
And
let's be very. Bama looks like extra regular this season. They still, which to me is kind of wild. They're still finding ways to win these games, but this is not the Alabama of old.
Okay, the defense is kind of crazy. Their defense is pretty good.
Cool. Then you lost to Texas. I mean, USF 17-3.
That was the scary game. That was the game that set off the alarms.
Mississippi, y'all won 24-10, 14 points. Mississippi State, y'all whooped them 40-17. Texas A&M 26-20. Then you play Arkansas 24-21. And guess who you got next? A hungry Tennessee team. Now, if you get through that, the season is Tennessee, then LSU. You got to dance
Auburn.
to dance now.
Then they got to play in the season with Auburn. Yeah, they got a nice little schedule. The SEC sums up, pretty much takes over October and November.
Oh, and if you are so fortunate to win out, guess what you got up next? UGA in the SEC championship.
Assuming that we get there, because Brock being hurt 4 weeks is scary. But yeah,
let me be honest with you. Let's look at everybody. Reggie, let me tell you this. I have a certain amount of disdain and hate for you.
What did I do?
Georgia is number one in the East. This is bad. This is the best case scenario for you, because Georgia is number one in the East, and Florida is number 2 in the East.
I know. I've already looked at the standings now.
It cannot work out any better.
Everything that I've said needed to happen for Georgia to start the schedule to improve has happened every week. I've been real quiet. I said I needed Kentucky to win. They won, and we beat them. I said I needed Florida to win, and then we played them. Everything that has happened, I said I needed Missouri to be good over the beginning of the season. They need to have about 2-3 losses by the end of the season. And all of a sudden, now Georgia's strength of schedule doesn't look as bad. I told you that, though.
And this is the thing. You probably...
Worthy says they'll be fine. Talking about Alabama.
The people who say that we'll be fine, it's never when things will be fine. Let me tell you that. That is when things are on fire. But, I'm stuck being a Florida fan. And I know that Billy Napier is not it. He's not even close, but they're second in the East. So, I mean, do they really fire him? Probably not. And that is worst case scenario. I don't want to watch another season of screen right, screen left.
Why not, man? Y'all played. Who'd y'all play? Y'all played
Reggie.
what? South Carolina.
Next team. Don't.
Hey, and that's your man right there, Ricky Pearsall. That's him right there. They didn't back down. They didn't back down. Florida survives and advances, as Mike says. They come back and beat South Carolina after South Carolina was down by a lot. It was up by a lot against Florida. Florida comes back and wins 42-39. And as I said before, that was the best case scenario for that game. That is a game where I said, I just want everybody to lose. And everybody lost. South Carolina won. Oh, y'all just going, Justin Herbert, they paid you all that money?
And he missed Keenan Allen wide open.
For the third time. But let's get back to South Carolina. Started off hot. Was up by like 28-0. Damn,
he got a somersault. Oh my God. The corner is literally on his head.
Damn, that was touchdown.
He ain't even in the screen. I can't do nothing with that, Justin Herbert. If you lose to Dak, they're gonna be on your ass now.
Back to Florida. So South Carolina started up 29. I think they was up by 20 points, 20-0. I said, dang, Norwood was excited. Yeah, we about to lose. I said, you know what? It'd be great if Florida came back. And lo and behold, Florida comes back and wins 42-39, which means South Carolina lost and Norwood lost because Florida won. Which means I won twice. I won twice in one game. Ain't that something? When I tell you it is exciting to be right twice, it's awesome.
I would love to have Ricky Pearsall on our team instead of Scotty Miller. Falcons make that happen. And then we'll have 3 Florida receivers.
All doing better than they did at Florida. Hey, man. Sometimes you got to leave the school to get to your true inner talent.
Well, yes. I'm disappointed, and I ain't got no answers, man. Billy Napier has to go, and I don't see anything where he goes now. We need a meltdown for the rest of the season.
He's there forever. He's there. He's there through next season.
Yeah, don't disrespect me.
Y'all gonna get. I'm telling you, y'all gonna go 9. Y'all gonna go 9-3.
Wait. Because things gonna get rocky. Boy, let me tell you, we got UGA whooped, LSU whooped, Mizzou
win. That's gonna be a win.
I hate us because we will win that game. Like, we're a bad team, but we will also ruin your shit too.
I think against Georgia, I think we only win by like 10 points. I don't think we blow y'all out this year. And LSU, I don't know, man. They hitting they stride. Jaden Daniels is out there at Baton Rouge, and they are moving. They are scoring.
LSU is going to dog walk us. Mizzou, y'all probably lose to us, and then we play Florida State at the end of the season, and they're going to be trying to play for a national championship.
For the playoff.
So,
hey, man. How many games did y'all win last year? Y'all won what, 6? 8? Y'all gonna win about 9 this year too? Keenan Allen is cooking the Cowboys. Y'all gonna win about 9 this year too? 9-4, maybe 10-3. Y'all upset LSU. I told you what's gonna happen. Y'all gonna get to the y'all gonna get to the Sugar Bowl, and y'all gonna win.
I had not even considered that they would let us play a bowl game.
They gonna let y'all go to Sugar Bowl, Citrus Bowl, wherever y'all go.
Outback Bowl. They love to send us to the Outback Bowl. That's right there in Tampa too.
Another game.
No. Let's go to Pitt versus Louisville, man, because I counted on Louisville last week to beat Notre Dame, and then they came right in there, jumped in the bed in fresh sheets.
I told you.
Freshly washed sheets. And
Saturday.
shat the bed, boy.
Saturday. I said Saturday morning live. I was like, hey, Pittsburgh is supposed to be a difficult place to play. It's hard to win there. And I was like, but I'm going to go with Louisville just because Pittsburgh is like 1-4. Boy, Pittsburgh beat the hell out of Louisville. They beat them all game. And they didn't beat them. They beat them up. They beat them up the whole game. And they play Louisville for homecoming. That's how you defend homecoming. No matter who you play. And Louisville is over.
Respect. Yeah.
It's over. That's the end of y'all season. I mean, it's not the end of y'all season. Y'all going to make it to a good bowl.
And get ready for basketball season.
Y'all going to make it to a good bowl game. Oh, Lord. Justin. Y'all going to make it to a good bowl game, but it's over with now. That's tough. 38-21 to a 1-win team. There's no excuse for that. And then, of course, there is where'd my phone go? There is North Carolina beating
real and serious, especially that new phone.
North Carolina beat Miami at home 41-31. It is officially the end of Miami's season and national championship aspirations. They needed to win this game. I did say that this was going to be a good game because they fumbled. Dallas being Dallas. I did say that this was going to be a good game because
that was a punt.
Couldn't have been because they had the ball. I said this was going to be a good game because Miami was a wounded animal. They had just choked the game away against Georgia Tech, and they were going to come out and play. But North Carolina
was a punt return.
Oh yeah.
Oh nah. That's not. He didn't touch the ball. Wait, hold on. So if you don't touch the ball and he ran, the referee, first of all, you are asleep at the wheel, dog. That has to be kick catch interference. He didn't even touch the ball, and the Chargers man ran into him.
Okay, so no, it's not. He blocked the guy into him. He didn't run into him. So therefore, it's not. I don't think it's kick catch interference. But the people that are listening to the podcast right now don't know what we're talking about. So,
for y'all who don't know, we're also watching the Cowboys game. I don't know if I know that yet. I got to see more. I want to see what they come back with from commercial with, because you're right. You did block the man into his man, but you still hit the man who's trying to catch the ball first.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what they say, man. Otherwise, Cowboys being the Cowboys, they can't get out their own way. But back to this Miami-North Carolina game. So Miami was actually up 17-14 at halftime, and North Carolina came and scored 21 straight points in the third quarter to take the lead and basically put it out of reach. I think Mario Cristobal's seat it wasn't hot before, and the Georgia Tech seat lighted the ignition. And I think it's almost like when you get audited at your job. If everything is in order and you do what you're supposed to do, then, they ain't really about to like fine tooth comb it. But when you mess up on something easy, now we got to look through all your jobs to make sure everything is in order. And when that happens, normally that can be the beginning of the end. I think Mario Cristobal's seat is getting warmer by the day.
I always knew that was what was going to be with him. I haven't ever believed in him. I assumed that they should have been looking for a replacement as soon as they hired him. This to me is not a surprise. This is to be expected. See you somewhere else soon.
Yeah, it's
don't
tough.
Bring him to Florida. We good.
Y'all don't normally hire former. Well, yes, y'all do. Didn't y'all have Randy Shannon for a while?
Yeah, we'll hire anybody who we believe they can win. We are desperate.
Other scores that separated the wheat from the chaff, as my dad says. Ooh, old school. That's that church saying.
Sure.
I think we talked about it before, but when it comes to Oregon State, man. Oregon State and the Beavers beat UCLA. I think Oregon State has
Oregon State is a tricky team.
They only got one loss, right? And the caption of this photo is big B1G Dubs because UCLA is going to the Big Ten. So the Pac-12 and Oregon State took a shot at UCLA after showing this. Big shots. I like it.
Well played. Situational awareness. I give it to them. They got a tough schedule too, don't they? They're another team that we'll see who you are in the days to come.
I think that they're actually built for it though, but we'll see. But I think because of their style of play in the Pac-12, I mean, they almost beat USC last year. They almost beat Oregon last year. Like they are good enough to where
they ain't no
at least
slouch.
defensively.
I will say that, but
yeah, they're not easy out.
The thing about them is sometimes I feel like they show up, sometimes they don't. And it's unfortunately you no longer have that option going forward. You got to show up, and you have to show up. Yeah, you end the season with Washington and Oregon.
I don't know if they've showed up. I mean, their first game they scored 42 points. Second game they scored 55.
Lost to Washington State. That was the game you needed to.
They were. I mean, they lost by 3. They lost by a field goal.
Yeah.
They show up. They've been actually very, very consistent.
Yeah, Washington, Oregon. That's a tough closeout.
Now,
once again, that's what I like about this is everybody still who believes that they're that man. You got a chance to see. We're not going. Well, at least with the Pac-12. And yeah, at least with the Pac-12, we'll figure out who's good and who's not.
Pac-12 is about to cannibalize itself, man. We already talked about USC losing, and then of course you got Arizona beat Washington State. Washington State was still trying to stay relevant, even though they had that one loss. They beat a ranked team in Oregon State earlier in the season, but when you get smoked by Arizona at home, it's kind of ugly. It's kind of ugly for them. So then you also go ahead for the Pac-12.
No, I agree. I think that's one of the teams that I was intrigued by early in the season. I think that time has come and gone. Maybe next year. Yep.
And we talked about this. Got some beers here. Tennessee beat Texas A&M. I told y'all Tennessee. Well, actually, this game didn't prove anything of the points that I made. I said Tennessee's offense was going to be too much for Texas A&M, and I didn't believe Texas A&M's offense was going to be able to score or play with Tennessee. I was wrong about both things. It was 20-13. This is one of the most boring, worst games. There's a lot of mistakes, a lot of turnovers, a lot of ugliness in this game, but Tennessee got it done 20-13. Joe Milton, bro, you are a letdown, brother. They thought you were about to be like the next Hendon Hooker.
And I told y'all, do not believe it. Do not believe it. It's gas station sushi. It's trick bag. It's not real. It's an illusion. It's a magic eye. Not real. And it looks like it. Yeah. Now, eventually, somebody got to explain to us what the hell is going on with Jimbo Fisher. He get paid a lot of money to be extra regular. And y'all took that job from Kevin Sumlin, who could have done the same job for probably $50 million less dollars. There's no way you can explain to nobody that I'm paying $100 million for something that I could have paid $50 million for and got the same, if not better, product.
I mean,
and if you can, I want to hear it because I got a job for you, and it involves me, you, Elon Musk, or Mike or Zuckerberg. I need you because you're going to help me to $1 billion if you can explain this. I can't.
I mean, you're not wrong.
That's why I keep coming on here every week and asking y'all, when is somebody going to ask how much longer y'all going to play Jimbo Fisher?
We gonna see. You're not wrong. And then Kentucky goes and loses to Missouri, which, as I said for Georgia, wow, wide open. Oh, my Lord. Kentucky loses to Missouri at home 38-21, which, for the sake of Georgia, I told you this was the best option that could happen. Kentucky comes against Georgia, undefeated, loses by a lot. Then goes and plays Missouri, who has one loss, and Missouri wins. So now Missouri is the next team up after we play Florida, if I'm not mistaken. So now Florida has one win, one loss, and they are number 2 in the East. This is play. If Georgia can hold serve on all these games, you really can't argue about strength of schedule if all these teams have one loss or undefeated before they play us, which is interesting. So it's tough.
I hate this part. It frustrates me a little bit because we know that these teams are shams. But you gotta play the game, and that works perfectly for you because in your head, you know none of these teams are legit. Now, this is the problem that life presents for you. We know all of these teams that are shams, right? One of these teams is going to drink the Kool-Aid, and they are going to. You think they're going to be a sham, and they're going to show up like Van Damme, and they're going to kick somebody's ass. And you got to hope that it's not you. And y'all haven't played that great these games, and I think that y'all might catch somebody on the wrong day at the wrong time, and they hand you a hot, steaming L. And also, the Chargers about to go for one. Go for
4th and goal.
Everybody could have scored. Herbert could have scored. Everett, who did score, could have scored. Hey, folks, we watching the game and excuse me. Let me clarify this. Dak and Justin Herbert are playing for their reputation right now. Somebody gonna leave out of here on a frying pan. I don't know who yet, but somebody for sure. But that play was the best play that man might ever call because he was wide the hell open.
Yeah, he was. He was, man.
And Falcons steal that play so we can run it. Damn, we ain't never had no play where nobody be that open.
We don't, man. In other news, I guess we'll just go straight to football because we still got to do basketball. I mean, go straight to NFL. So
basketball is short though, but yeah.
Or do you want to take a break? You can take a break.
No. We rocking.
Yeah, we kind of in a groove right now. So Shannon Sharpe, I gotta find the link. The link that you have is to like another whatever. So I'll find that. But Shannon Sharpe, bro, you out here. I said it when I watched it this morning. I watched First Take this morning. I've actually paid attention more to First Take now that Shannon is there. I think him and Stephen A. I think Stephen A. is really allowing him to be the A mic more.
Is that link right there not work for you? But yeah, for sure. This is and I want to be fair here. Anytime that you have this type of transition, there is a high likelihood that you have something that happens. But this is, and I didn't even get a chance to watch this. It's just one of those things where were you the person who said it in the group? I saw a bunch of places.
It was me. I said, hey, they got Shannon Sharpe on TV looking like a vampire for Halloween. And nobody knew what I was talking about because y'all were at work. And then it came out and everybody started talking about it at like 1 or 2 o'clock p.m. I was like, dog, they got Shannon Sharpe on here looking like he's goth. Like,
crazy. He looked like he went Jimmy Butler emo. That's what they said. This is... And the thing about it is, we've all had the moment where, you know, the fit just wasn't fitting. It wasn't looking how you had planned it to look. And he knew he had to go out here and do the show. And he, they tear his ass up. Oh, man. And he goes on to say, I appreciate the concern for my makeup this morning on First Take. This is her first time doing my makeup. It's a little heavy. My appearance is important, but not as important as my takes. Hopefully, the takes were great as usual. Nah, brother. You don't get to moonwalk out of that. We finna laugh.
Little heavy. Little bro, you a whole different color. Dog,
You know, it's like when you get a haircut, you know that haircut ain't right. You know he put that makeup on, and yeah, he knew I was.
Ryan said he was a California raisin.
Yo, he looked like a mannequin. He looked like a blackican. He looked like and you know he got to sit up there and know he looked crazy for the whole show. There's nothing you can do. You can't get out of that at that point. You just got to rock.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, and the boy said abortuary science makeup did.
Oh man!
Dog, I laughed at this all morning when I saw that. I was like, "Dog, y'all see Shannon Sharpe? Nobody sees Shannon right now." Shannon Sharpe. Boy, I got a lot of jokes that are insane and insensitive. And
you know, what I'm waiting for is him and Chad have a show. I think it's called The Nightcap. I am looking forward to that show, Casket Sharpe, and that's the name of the episode right there.
With that picture, I gotta do it. With that being said. Hey man, it's tough for Shannon, but it is.
Thank you, Josh. Shout out to the world for helping us out as we go on this audio adventure. We make this podcast. We like that you guys help us do it, and Josh just named it. Congratulations! Round of applause! Round of applause!
Beer for you. I think I see Josh this weekend. We going to North Carolina. But let's move on to the NFL. So, you know, we keep up with our non-quarterback rookies. We talked about the quarterbacks that were rookies, especially C.J. Stroud. But Juju Brents, Josh Downs, each had good games. Zay Flowers, of course, is really trying to become the number 2 option. I guess he has to be in Baltimore. Of course, Michael Mayer, DeJuan Jones, Tajay Spears. Listen, Tajay Spears out of Tulane is making Derrick Henry. They are really, really thinking about. I can see why they're thinking about trading Derrick Henry. Tajay Spears had a screen pass that he caught against Baltimore and weaved in and out of Baltimore's defense and almost scored. And Derrick Henry, the whole fourth quarter, was pretty much on the bench because shots fired. Was pretty much on the bench because Derrick Henry can't really catch the ball out of the backfield, and they were behind. They had to throw, and they had Malik Willis, and Derrick Henry ain't that great in pass protection, so they had to play Tajay Spears the whole fourth quarter, and he played really, really well. And then of course Michael Wilson, Devin Witherspoon, and Byron Young round us out. With Bijan, of course, having 18 touches for 80 yards. Are you paying? Hello?
So, yeah. So, number one, Bijan had what I would consider off game, 80 yards. The fact that you can have an off game and that can be what you come back with, he is going to get Desmond Ridder fired by himself. There's nothing. Everybody else, even Drake London, looking like a world beater. Kyle Pitts, they get them the ball. Desmond, it's going to be you or you, and you need to figure that out soon and very soon. But shout out to these rookies who are playing well. Josh Downs from UNC. He's and you got to remember, this is what he did with Gardner Minshew. His quarterback, apparently, Anthony Richardson, probably done for the season.
Yeah, with the shoulder. Yeah. You're not going to play him if you're not going to win the division. So you make the playoffs. So yeah, you don't want to injure him further because this is the quarterback of the future for them. So
yep.
Yeah, the rookies had quite a run. Speaking of Desmond Ridder lost a home game for the first time in his career. He was 31-0 playing at home. But he's not that great on the road. This was Arthur Smith's face after he threw that last interception.
No, it's second to last interception.
Second to last interception. But I'm gonna respond to what you said about Desmond Ridder Bijan's gonna get Desmond Ridder fired. Let me tell you something. Desmond Ridder is gonna get Desmond Ridder fired. If you throw 3 interceptions and then the week before You throw 2 pick sixes or 1 pick six and the other guy dropped the ball as he was returning it. Ooh, that was almost pick six.
Yep.
You do all of that. Desmond Ritter.
That was a pick 6 too, Dak. Boy, they fire you today. He wasn't.
Desmond Ritter.
To tear your ass up.
You've got to figure out what you're going to do because it's ugly. It's ugly.
I was able to watch the post-game press conference. Starting to think that Desmond Ritter is a guy who ends up being a coach. Don't really have the skill to do it.
QB's coach. He's a QB coach.
He does. He has the demeanor. I do like that he don't really shirk his responsibilities. Nope, it was me. We play as a team. We didn't get it done. We have to do better. I do like that part, but I just at this point I don't think, like they say that those who can't teach, those who can't coach, same type of thing. I think that's the career path that I see for him. Back up straight to quarterback coach, to probably a head coach. I think that he has the demeanor. I think that he has all those intangibles. And I think that he means the best. I just don't think that he can do it. That's tough too.
Yep. Other games around. Let's go to the NFC North. What am I clicking on? My bad. Let's go Vikings Bears. Oh, nope. That link took me to this. So we'll go Bengals. The Bengals. Who did they play? Who did the Bengals play?
Is right. The Bengals played.
Yeah, it's not on.
Lose.
I don't know what you got.
The Bengals played the Seahawks.
Oh, so the Bengals did go and they beat Seattle. Shout out to my fantasy football team. Kenneth Walker III still had a touchdown and a bunch of points. They definitely didn't look like the team of last week where Jamar Chase scored, 3 touchdowns and they went all crazy. But they did get it. They did get it done. So the Bengals won that game. We'll see. I think Joe Burrow is still hurt though.
That was going to be kind of my question / kind of comment is they don't look like they used to look, but I attribute that to, and really Jamar Chase was right. Jamar Chase at the beginning of the season said, hey, I think he needs to sit out 5 weeks, and he did not. And
that's such a specific comment. I think they told him to sit out 5 weeks, and he said no.
Yep. But either way, I think for the vast majority of it, he's wasted these 5 weeks. And I think he's hurt. And I think that, it's whatever because they've won a couple games. But I think that it would have done everybody better if he did not play. And try that Vikings Bears link again.
Vikings Bears link.
Yeah. Because this is a game that me and you have had vested interest in because of our interest in Justin Fields.
And Danielle Hunter. So the Vikings beat the Bears. Justin Fields actually got hurt in this game. He hurt his throwing hand. And both of these teams are on the fence about whether or not are on the fence about whether or not they should blow the team up or not.
Both of them. No. Let me be very clear. I'm going to speak on my behalf. Both of y'all need to blow it up. Bears, y'all need to be worried about getting the first and second pick in the draft. Vikings, you need to be worried about getting Kirk Cousins the hell on away from Justin Jefferson. I'm sure that Justin Jefferson will not be coming back to play in 4 weeks. That will kind of be what it is. Blow it up. Blow it up. Now, unfortunately, also Justin Fields has a dislocated thumb. They don't know when he will be back due to the fact that he has basically is swollen pre-pause. His hand is swollen and stiff. And I think that him being a valuable trade asset, I think it is in their very best interest to make sure that he is 100%. So you can try to move him either at the end of this season or before the draft next year. You don't need any lingering injuries, nothing that stops him from passing a physical, nothing that could get in the way of this trade.
Yeah, I think the Falcons need to look at Danielle Hunter. I don't know if they'll actually give up Justin Fields. I don't see that happening just because I think they're gonna want too much for him. I don't know.
When is
I
the
don't.
trade deadline? Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's all kind of like, not to be funny, but it's inconsequential about what you want to do and what you don't want to do. You know that Fields is not going to be the answer going forward. I think that
We know
part
Desmond
it
Ritter
kind of
ain't it.
is, huh?
And said that we know Desmond Ritter ain't it.
Yes. Oh well, this is actually kind of interesting. The trade deadline is in 2 weeks. It's actually on Halloween, so the trade will have to happen by 4 p.m. Will he
Unless
be
they've been
healthy by
talking and
then?
they have the greatest no leak clause in their media, team's media, it's probably not gonna happen. Not during the season. It'll happen after the season, for sure.
But then, okay, so if you do that, which is fine, you also have to understand that essentially you're getting rid of your leverage. You're going to lose a lot of leverage then,
Why?
because right now that team is like, okay, well, number one, you get extra time. So I'll be more interested in, some of these teams are going to say, I'll just draft a QB. But if I get Justin Fields and kind of salvage my season, I'll do that. I think the Falcons are one of the teams that are uniquely kind of in a win now situation. We're going to probably be the only team that's still like, hey, yes, give us Justin Fields. Like, we have to have him type of thing.
Him getting hurt changes
Everybody
the
else,
dynamic of that, though. Him getting hurt changes the dynamic of that trade, to me.
I agree.
But, we'll see. We'll see. Elsewhere in the NFC North, the Lions did us a solid. The Falcons lost, but everybody else lost in the division. So we're still number 2, tied for first in the division now. They won 20-6.
No.
Might be in second.
The Bucs are.
The Bucs are in
The
first.
Bucs are, yeah, because they only lost. This is their first loss?
No.
Second loss. Yeah, they had 2 losses. We had 3 losses. Yeah, you're right.
So the intriguing thing about this game is Jameson Williams is back, and he has like 8 catches in his career, and 3 of them have gone for long touchdowns. He is the piece that is supposed to take the top off the defense for this team, especially with Amon-Ra St. Brown working the middle of the field. And Sam Laporta from tight end U.
And Jahmyr Gibbs. This offense.
Well, Jahmyr Gibbs is hurt. He's been hurt for the past 2 weeks. But what I'm saying is with Jameson Williams back, you now, especially in the pass game, Jared Goff has a lot of, he has quietly as kept, has a nice amount of weapons as well.
This team is built for the future. The Lions,
they're built for the playoffs.
The playoffs, but I mean, you assume like even last year they kind of got it moving in the right direction. This year, I think they're kind of playing better. I think that next year is when this team really gets into that next level, to really be a team that comes into this season with high expectation. I think that they kind of, nobody really trusts the Lions at the end of the day. Like they could do.
They were picked to win the division,
good,
weren't they?
I mean, but the division, look at it. It ain't nothing over there now. They're like us.
Oh man,
congrats,
yeah, man.
It's one of them situations where congrats. Congrats, but you're not really good. You just beat a bunch of mid teams. Dak just threw a pass, and I thought that was a touchdown. Running back dropped it.
Yeah, man. Elsewhere in the NFC South,
he needs you to make that catch.
Elsewhere in the NFC South, the Texans beat as I told you, all the teams lost. The Texans beat the Saints 20-13. I told y'all that playing against a team at home versus playing against a team on the road, a lot of times the way the ball bounces and those little things that can tip a close game go in your favor when you're at home, and that's what happened with Houston. It was a stressful win, but it was a win. And this pretty much sums up right here Alvin Kamara's face when listening to Jameis Winston trying to motivate him. This is Kamara's face. This sums up the day for the Saints. And if y'all are watching, if y'all are listening, we are watching Jameis Winston and Alvin Kamara have a great conversation. One-sided. Bro, stop talking to me. I got you.
Yeah. Bam. Shut the. Why are you? when he put them hands like that, fingers open like that, as a. I hear you, but I really don't want to talk to you.
Stop talking to me, dog.
I keep looking at this. Well, number one, we're not gonna miss the point here. We're not gonna bury the lead. D'Amico Ryans just got to push him further and further into Coach of the Year conversation. He's building a team there. Y'all gonna hear me say that every week until proven otherwise. I'm really intrigued about what they're doing. This is a game that they probably should have lost. The Saints are what most people would consider a better team, but for him to get this W, impressive. The Saints, on the other hand, I mean, what are y'all doing? At least like we as the Falcons, we look like we're a quarterback away from being legit. The Bucks, they look like, I don't know how they did it, but they did something over there. And then
I don't really know how the Saints lost this game. Derek Carr was 32 of 50 for 353 yards and a touchdown and an interception. Oh, they didn't.
You need more.
They didn't run the ball. Alvin Kamara was 19 rushes for 68 yards.
How much longer you think he stays there?
You see this video right here?
That's what I'm saying.
You saw that? That's 10 more minutes. I got 10 more minutes before I'm out here. Y'all done already stole me up the river. Y'all done told me he's out of there. I don't know where he ends up, but he could go to Dallas. Him and Tony Pollard would be a hell of a combination.
I like that. Who else is good and needs a running back to put them over the top?
Chiefs. No, they got Pacheco.
They want a receiver, not a running back. Sure, send him to Miami with everybody else that's there. While you playing?
There's no way Miami has the money. There's no way Miami has the money. It can't happen. It can't happen. Buffalo?
Buffalo is intriguing.
Because they need
honestly.
it.
Buffalo is intriguing. I think that Jacksonville is intriguing. Him and Etienne would be scary. I
don't think that happens.
That's a two-headed monster from False. But that is a tandem that you would not want to see on a nightly basis, and that would surely help out Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Or whoever's going to play quarterback for them because he's day-to-day.
Yep. And other
about the Eagles, Lord.
With DeAndre Swift? Yeah, that would be hurtful. Oh my God. The Dolphins beat the Panthers. Yeah, they need it too. The Dolphins beat the Panthers 42-21 at home. It really wasn't even close. The Rams and Cooper Kupp and Isaiah Pacheco beat the Cardinals 26-9.
That is not Isaiah Pacheco. That is Puka
Nacua. I'm sorry. I was thinking about running backs. Yeah, Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp come back. Cooper Kupp comes back and they beat the Cardinals 26-9. Josh Dobbs seems to have turned back into Josh Dobbs after playing out of his mind against Dallas.
Yeah. You can only play above your skill set for so long. And then you got a motivated Rams team that's trying to gain their self-respect back. So, yeah.
Their division ain't. Well, I mean, you got the 49ers, but after that, they can beat the Seattle Seahawks, and Arizona ain't it. So, they fighting for a wild card. And
I honestly think that on the right weekend, Seahawks and Rams is very interesting to me. Super interesting.
I think that's the battle for the last playoff. One of them. They'll be in the
Fair.
talk for the last playoff.
Yeah, I mean, damn, you can kind of see what. Yeah, all the bottom teams are out of it. Panthers season toast. Bears season toast. Cardinal season toast. Giant season toast. Everybody else in the NFC still dancing along. And
Yeah.
honestly, it ain't but the Niners, Eagles, and Lions that look like world beaters. Everybody else is just like, hey, man, I'm happy to be here like y'all are. Y'all got to say, that's like the joint where the women all arrange it and all the men have the same shirt on. That's what the rest of the NFC looks like. Y'all look like the same damn teams.
Yeah, you do. You do look like the same team. Y'all look really, really mid, man. I mean, it is what it is. Let's switch on over to the AFC real quick. The Browns. And I said I'm gonna keep saying that because I don't ever listen to my gut. But the Browns, with that defense, the Browns may have the number one overall defense or one of the number one or number two overall defense in the league. And they put it on display against the 49ers, 19-1, 19-17. What was interesting about this game is the Browns beat up the 49ers, and that has been the 49ers' claim to fame, is that we are a more physical team than you guys are. Michael Parsons. We are a more physical team than you guys are. And the Browns came there, beat them up so bad. Christian McCaffrey didn't finish the game. Deebo Samuel didn't finish the game. Trent Williams didn't finish the game. Brock Purdy looked regular. Brandon Ayuk is clearly a number two. Chargers. Justin Herbert had a horrible game. But this Browns team on defense pretty much held it in the road, and they shut down one of the more prolific offenses in the league. And the Browns, without Deshaun Watson, by the way, they won this game without Deshaun Watson. So, yeah, I was about to say, Josh, I knew we were a little bit ahead of you when we saw what happened. So you said finish after Monday Night Football. I was like, okay, well, that'll be in 30 seconds. I don't know if the Browns are good. I don't know. I know that the Browns defense, if I'm a defensive player on some of these teams, if I'm on Dallas's defense, if I'm on the Eagles defense, if I'm on the Browns defense, if I'm on the Jets defense, I am furious. Honestly, you could probably throw the Ravens in there as well. I'm upset because we are playing really good. We are playing really good on defense, and our offense is the reason that we are pretty much in the predicament we're in.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. That cap hit is problematic. Not
This
as
was so
problematic
weird.
as this. Greg Olsen, no one never hold me this tight, bro. Don't. And then the double. Nah, that's super weird. But
That's when they lost, though. I just showed you because that's when they lost. They might have won in the game.
But the Brown, like, this doesn't really solve any of the Browns' problems. I mean, it's a loss for the 49ers. All it does, their biggest issue is they just need to be healthy. The Browns still have a quarterback issue. Remember, the medical staff cleared Deshaun Watson last week before the game, and he didn't play. Then he did not play again. And the coach already said, yeah, he's been cleared. So I don't exactly know what you do with this. That's my biggest issue. I spent all this guaranteed money on a guy who hadn't played in 2 weeks. And you won, so you
They said he could return week 7.
That's next week. But they said he could return week 5 too.
He has deep rotator cuff contusion, so a rotator cuff bruise.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll take him over PJ Walker. I'm sure they'll do that.
But the coaches already said something. Some of the players have already said something. That's the more overarching issue. Congratulations on a good win against the undefeated team. All the undefeateds are no longer undefeated. They have all been defeated, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Jacksonville won their game against Indianapolis. Really no need to talk about that one. They won 37-20.
Other than Anthony Richardson probably going to have surgery and be done for the season. Also, Trevor Lawrence has some type of leg extremity injury. I don't know if it's an ankle, a knee, or a calf, but he is day-to-day, and they play on a short week. They play Thursday. Very interesting for
They play Thursday again?
AFC South.
Dog, Jacksonville, I wouldn't go there. Ain't no way. So we got to play in London twice. They played on Thursday twice, if I believe. It's kind of ugly. But yeah, the 49ers lost. In other news, I told y'all about defenses that are playing well and the offense isn't. The Jets beat the Eagles 20-14, and they played really, really well. The Eagles had 4 turnovers, including 1 for a touchdown. And now Eagles fans, after one bad week, they're ready to turn on Jalen. Already. I guess that's the curse of playing in Philly.
No. This is what, once again, I don't want to hear none of that from Eagles fans. And I'm going to tell you why. Because y'all were happy when he was paid all that money. And I said, you're right. He's better than advertised. He's also not the best quarterback in the NFL. You can't take all of the money, because when you take the money, that comes with expectation. So now y'all were happy about it until this week. Y'all got to rock with him. But you just know that you bought an asset and you paid too much for it. Whatever happens from here, this ain't no hate, but it is what it is. You paid for the asset, you overpaid. Now you get what you get.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't gonna say get what you get. Again, it was one bad game. I mean, you will see other quarterbacks have had 4 interception games and have rebounded. Other ones have played bad. And you got to realize, as Robert Saleh said, we played against a gauntlet of quarterbacks, and our defense has embarrassed them all. Now, you remember on Hard Knocks, yes, there was a lot of Kool-Aid drunk with the Jets when they got Aaron Rodgers, but that defense and Quentin Williams was always legit, and that was the bell cow of the team. And it seems like they have decided that they are going to put the onus on them to win the game, because to hold the Eagles to 17 is good.
The Williams brothers is on the defense together is wild, and I love it. And for me also, I'm not gonna say the Eagles are pyrite. If you really look at it, Jalen has played really good through was this week 6? Quentin and Quincy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So he had one bad game. If you look at everybody, Patrick Mahomes included, has had at least a bad game. Josh Allen has had more than one bad game. We just saw Justin Herbert just lose to Dak Prescott. Not a great game. For whatever reason, none of the quarterbacks I've seen this year have looked like the historical world beaters that we've seen in the past. Unless you've seen somebody that I missed.
No, I'm glad you brought up Baltimore, though. I mean, not Baltimore, Buffalo. They beat the Giants, who didn't have Daniel Jones, who I don't know if that's good or bad. Tyrod Taylor played. And the only reason they really won this game to me is because Tyrod Taylor hadn't played in so long. He made a lot of bonehead decisions out of, I'm going to say it was rust, for example, or they were just a bonehead decision, especially that 4th and goal at the halftime, checking it to a run play when you don't have any timeouts with 8 seconds left, thinking you're going to be able to run it again. Brian Daboll was upset. Not getting the pass interference call, the holding call, the obvious holding call on Darren Waller in the end zone to end the game. when it was 14-9. If they scored, that would have won. Buffalo. Why you talking about the Eagles being pyrite? Buffalo looks bad.
Regular.
Man. They look bad.
Yeah, that's actually it.
14 points against the Giants
is Diggs was not happy to start the season. I can't imagine that he's happy now.
Not scoring just scoring 14 points.
Yep.
He can't be happy. So you have that, and then in the AFC West, of course, the game tonight. Recap: Dallas wins on a interception by Stephon Gilmore, and there was a lot of smoke before this game. Austin Eckler and Dante Fowler got into it, and the teams got into it. Here it is, right? Bow! Austin Eckler got his helmet knocked off. Ooh wee. And this game was, I don't even know.
Some boy got his helmet knocked off and just started looking in a different direction.
Yeah, what you gonna do? I mean,
you know who hit you. He's standing right there in front of you.
He jumped into it. Dante Fowler jumped into the ruckus.
Gator Nation.
Yep.
Yeah, Dallas is definitely not good. They're just
this was a hard game to watch. I don't know if Dallas really. I mean, the defense. Michael Parsons Jr. Man, Gilmore. I mean, he had Michael Parsons Jr. and Lawrence. Not Dexter. That's with the Giants. DeMarcus Lawrence for the Cowboys played out of this mind. Parsons had 4 quarterback pressures, had a sack for 3 yards. Herbert really didn't do anything. He was looking over his shoulder the whole game. That defensive line.
It's a slog of a game to watch.
Yeah, it was tough. But now that hot seat for the Chargers coach has to be getting a little warm. Going for it on 4th down all the time, all the analytics, they're losing. Most losses by 3 points or less in the last 2 seasons. The Broncos at 7, the Chargers at 6. Broncos fired their coach. I think the Chargers coach is next because you just paid Justin Herbert, so you can't get rid of him. And they just got all them receivers. And you got Khalil Mack, who set the single game sack record or something crazy like that. So, like, they got all the pieces there. I just don't know what else I don't know what else they need.
I feel you on that. Them being 2-3 is bad. But I feel like it's so many other people who have to get fired first.
I think it's an organizational thing.
I think that could be it too.
Justin Herbert looked like the new Phillip Rivers to me. He looked just like the new Phillip Rivers. Strong arm. Oh my God, he's gonna be so great. He can throw the ball really far. He can do all these things. Phillip Rivers did all those things, and they had the number 1 offense and the number 1 defense one year, and didn't make the playoffs. And went 8-8.
Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
It looks the same way. You got all these weapons. You got Austin Eckler, who is a similar type of running back. I'm not saying he's as good. I'm not saying he is better. I'm not saying any of that. LT is by himself, but he's the same type of running back as LaDainian Tomlinson. Come out of the backfield, can catch the ball, gets a lot of points. They have a lot of weapons. They got Keenan Allen. They had Mike Williams got hurt, but they just drafted 2 other receivers, and they got Josh Palmer. They have weapons, but they can't seem to get right.
Also, an update I just saw that I'm really excited about. Frank Wright is no longer calling the plays for the Carolina Panthers. He's put that into the hands of offensive coordinator Thomas Brown. I really hope that Thomas Brown takes that and runs with it. And
Black dude, right? Yeah, that's UGA. He's running back.
Yeah. That's exactly who. That's the reason I was excited. I was like, "Oh,
Tucker High School.
What we doing now?
Tucker High School.
That's what we doing."
That boy scored 4 touchdowns on us in the playoffs. I never forget that game. I will never forget that game. He 5'9" and was just running around us in circles,
rocking and rolling.
Yep. But let's finish out this football strong, man. Let's finish out the football strong. Hey, Patriots. Sorry, wrong one. Hey, Patriots. Y'all out the door. Billy Bill, I told y'all this was the beginning of the end. It's a wrap. And honestly, I don't really have anything good to say about the Raiders either. This was an awful
You just
game.
didn't lose.
Somebody had to win and somebody had to lose. New England is 1-5 and have the Bills, Dolphins next on the schedule.
Josh, what you know about Polk High, baby?
Yeah, Polk High. I think the Patriots. Now that would be ugly. What if the Patriots are the worst team in the league and end up getting or going to get Caleb Williams?
And if I'm Caleb Williams, I'm saying no.
You'd have to do it to get Caleb Williams to come. You'd have to come to the Patriots. You'd have to do a regime change.
Fire Bill Belichick.
Yeah, you'd have to get rid of everybody.
After everything that I've heard about Bill Belichick from the greatest player, the greatest quarterback of all time, one of the greatest players of all time, there is not one way in hell I'm going there. I have to be a world beater I got to put the whole team on my back. I have to create the culture because clearly the Patriot way went with Tom Brady and not Bill Belichick. And no. And they have never had wide receivers. No.
They did 1 year. 1 year and they set the record.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Bill Belichick, get away from me. And then you got to understand, this is what they got coming up. They got the Bills. They got the Dolphins. Then they get the Commanders and the Colts, and then the Giants. But
Colts is a win.
These next two games,
Giants
they're going
to be 2-8.
I think the Bills should be motivated, and I think that Josh Allen knows he needs to win this game. I can't lose to Mac Jones. Then
any division game, they've dominated the division so much. I think any divisional team is going to take any opportunity to embarrass that team this year. This year specifically.
And then at that point, I mean, how many games they won? Oh, one.
Yeah, they're gonna be 2-8.
You're gonna get
in the next about the 10 games.
No, in 2 more games, I expect them to lose. They'll be 1-7. At 1-7, what are we doing here?
And then I expect them to beat the Colts. And then I expect for them to lose. So that's 2, and they'll lose the other 4.
Do you think that? Well, this is my thing. I agree with you. If this team plays the Colts, they may win. Do you think that Mac Jones can take 2 more losses and stay the quarterback?
No. Well,
that's where you get into the issue. They pulled him.
Ain't no issue. What are you? You're not playing for anything. By playing Mac Jones, you are doing 2 things. You are getting yourself higher in the draft order, and you are proving that Mac Jones ain't it. Yeah, and that allows you to go and make changes, and it proves that you made a mistake. Now, Bill Belichick has all the bail in the world. When you have 7 championships or 6 championships, you get all the bail in the world. So until he decides to hang it up, until Robert Kraft gets tired of him and he just refuses to change, Bill will be the coach. Now, the only way to me that Bill saves himself and becomes a coach more than a year, I think, is if he were to hand over the reins to the defense and the offensive coordinators and become a CEO coach versus being really, really involved in the defense.
Wait. Offensive and defensive coordinator, sir, give me that GM badge. That's the first one that's got to go.
Oh, yeah,
I don't care about nothing else. That you are done picking players. Next time
you give the GM badge,
Madden, big dog.
Well, then if you do that, then he's gonna. But that's the end of it. That's the best way to turn over a regime, and you can do that with 1 firing instead of 2. You get 1 severance package or whatever instead of 2. Oh well, then Bill. If he doesn't give up the GM, they're gonna fire him. If they decide to fire him or get a new GM, he's gonna be fired anyway. You're not gonna fire him as the GM and he's gonna stay as the coach. Nah, that's like Bill Parcells. He's a Bill Parcells guy. I gotta pick my own groceries. Isn't that what he said? So he's a Bill Parcells tree.
And you're finna be an Ed Ogeron guy. Pick what don't you want to leave out of, my boy. See you later.
Yeah, and finally, Denver. Who did Denver play? Denver played they played the Chiefs.
Broncos and the Chiefs.
And they played decently, but they got beat. But honestly, nobody was paying attention to this game until Steve Smith and Jerry Jeudy got into it.
The smoke.
Jerry Jeudy basically said, I don't mess with you, Steve Smith, after Steve Smith gave his evaluation of him. So Steve Smith responded this way.
Walking by and Steve called out to him, and he got a different reaction.
I called out to him because on my podcast, Cut to It, I just talked about guys that maybe have not showed up in a way or in a manner. And so the word that I've used to describe him in the past was a jag, just a guy.
Just a guy.
And so when I saw him, he's playing well. I wanted to say to him face to face, like, hey, I know I said some things in the past I probably shouldn't have, and I'm sorry. That's what I wanted to say to him. His response, Mike Robb and Bucky, was ninja.
Ninja.
Yes, I'm using the word ninja. I'm just using the word ninja. I don't mess with you. And it was a curse word. And so I was like, all right. And then he repeated it. So I'll say it again. I'm sorry that I said you were a jag, just a guy who's an average wide receiver they use a first-round pick on.
For a short while ago.
I hope today that you actually show up in a way that you haven't showed up in the last couple of years since they drafted you. So if you ever got a problem with Agent 89, I'm sorry for saying that you're an average wide receiver, that they eventually will move on. And when teams call me and asking, should they trade for you, I will say no, don't trade for Jerry Jeudy, because he's mentally unable to handle constructive criticism from people who watch specifically, can he be a wide receiver? He could be a wide receiver. He's a tier 3. Go back into the studio. I'm done now. Thank you.
Brett?
He's like miniature Shaq. That's what Shaq would say on NBA TV, like if you pissed him off. That's what Shaq would say. Now, he did come back and be like, well, it's two black guys. We don't want to fight. We don't want to do that. We're not going to show our butt and show our ass on TV. Blase, blase, blah. I find it really, really hard to believe that you were going to walk up to him and give him kudos and saying you've been playing well. That has never been your MO, especially since you've been in the media. You've been the guy to poke and prod at people, pause if necessary, because you know that really can't nobody beat you up. So at the end of the day, I don't believe personally that you were going to give him, but I mean, who am I? But I don't believe personally you were going to give him credit. But I mean, the evaluation was honest. I can say that about Steve Smith. It was honest. I mean, Jerry Jeudy, you haven't lived up to the draft hype.
I think that everybody was a little right. Everybody was a little wrong. First thing, I mean, my quarterback, none of Jerry Jeudy's situation has really been stable. He's been kind of floating around in this
Steve Smith is
show.
A jerk, Rodney? Wow. Yeah,
well, yeah, he absolutely is.
But when you realize people can't beat
Jerry
you up,
Jeudy
I mean,
is doing the best he can with this Russell Wilson situation, which, let's be honest, Russell Wilson and Sean Payton are beefing right now. So, yeah, I'm a quarterback trying to make it happen. I mean, I'm a wide receiver trying to make it happen on this team that's in disarray. Sure. Now, if you want to call him an average wide receiver, you're not. His production has been that or less than. But if you say that on your podcast, do not walk up to me and try to say, oh, maybe I made a mistake. Say that on your podcast. Don't come over here.
That's right. Be as loud as you are with the disrespect. Be as loud as you are with the disrespect or the truth telling. Be as loud as you are with the apology. That's true.
Exactly.
Or the
and you want to come over here and now be like, oh, I'm a veteran, pull you to the side and have disrespectful conversation. You started with disrespect. Why would you expect me to meet you with anything other than that? And if you want smoke, then yeah, like at the end of the day, like there's only so much he can really do. I can't throw the ball to myself. I can't make this offense work. I'm also not the reason the offense is broken either. So you kind of throwing me under the bus specifically. Hey, we wide receivers, bro. And there should be, to a certain degree, a level of respect. You know what this job comes with. You know that there's only so much that you can personally influence. And my quarterback, my coach, who's also, I think, the offensive coordinator or the guy calling the plays or the offensive genius, whatever you want to call him, they're not getting along. I'm trying to make the best of this bad situation, and you throw me under the bus, then yeah, when I see you, it's fuck you. Don't my bad. Nah, my bad, my ass. You get the hell away from me, buddy. Steve Smith, and you, this is the thing. If somebody did that to you, you would have been worse. 10 times worse.
Hey, man, if you got a problem, say it. I mean, Jerry Jeudy could respond. I mean, as you said, Steve Smith is a Ring of Honor guy, right? I mean, there's a lot.
Jeudy can't respond. I'm trapped in this really terrible situation, and I don't. What do? I ask for a trade? Boy, they're gonna say, look at your production. We can't trade you for nothing.
You think teams really call Steve Smith and say, hey, what do you think about this receiver? Out of all the people to call? Just because he's on TV?
Because he's the perfect guy. Number one, if you notice, like the last 6 or 7 years, he's the guy at the draft. He's right there. Steve Smith is a content creator. He does it quietly and sneakily. But yeah, he's been in content. He specifically, I follow him because he does a really good job of breaking down. Like, he knows the position of wide receiver. He's not a guy that was physically gifted. So he knows what to look for. He's good. He's a good talent evaluator. That's the reason it's kind of frustrating for him to do that. He also, all of y'all, we're going to do two things. Number one, follow, subscribe, follow the SplashCast. We rocking with y'all tonight. We having a fucking ball. And on top of that, follow Steve Smith. He's good. All right, I'm not going to say he's
I'm about to say, what he said wasn't wrong in terms of production. I think what he said was emotional because he didn't take into the effect, like you said, that, hey, Jerry Jeudy hasn't been in a stable situation at all since he's been drafted. His rookie year, he hurt his shoulder. Second year, they hired Nathaniel Hackett, who, whatever you want to say, was awful. And then the third year, they get Russell Wilson, who, and the coach, Sean Payton. So it's not like he's had, with all of that, you get a new scheme, a new coach, and a new offensive coordinator and a new quarterback every year. And
bro, I'm not driving.
Remember, he started off with Drew Lock. Drew Lock was his quarterback his rookie year. So I mean, you gotta Steve. That's
Drew
why I say
Lock to busted Russ. No, what you really asking of me? Hey Steve, you get your old ass out here and run some routes, then, buddy. You show me how it's done.
Yeah, listen, Steve, and I understand you trying to say that whatever about his production, but you ain't take all the facts into the account. And secondly, everybody ain't built like you, Steve. Everybody ain't gonna go be the team and just be the one receiver on the team. Football ain't like that no more. Ain't no pro style offense to where it's one receiver and you can have Muhsin Muhammad, Steve Smith, a tight Greg Olsen, and Cam, or not even Cam. It was Muhsin Muhammad was dude starts with the F. I can't think of his name.
And let's be real here, Steve. What did that really get you?
Nothing. Ring of Honor.
Not a whole lot.
That's why. If I'm Jerry Jeudy, the more we talk about this, hey, bro, I could have responded. I could say a lot about you, dog. You a low bar to catch.
This is presently pissing Reggie off right now.
Yeah, the more you talk about it, I'm like, hold on, bro. If there's a mantle of receivers I'm trying to catch, you ain't that high on the list. Jake Delhomme, there you go. Jake Delhomme, Del Homie. For the Panthers that took him to the Super Bowl. Like, I understand you had good years, and yes, you were good, but hey, bro, like, who would you take, Chad Johnson or Steve Smith?
Ocho, you know I'm taking Ocho.
You know what I mean? So, like, if I'm Jerry Jeudy, I first of all I would have shot back, but secondly, you better have some hands because there ain't gonna be too much talking from Steve. Steve done broke a lot of eye sockets. Cheekbones, noses, jaws.
Little talking to
Steve Smith will knock you out, dog. So
we begin to rock. Steady.
With that being said,
too, my boy.
with that being said, we got what we got 3 things to talk about on basketball.
Yeah, we can actually just.
We could go WNBA. Let's do. Give me about 30 seconds, guys. We'll be right back with our basketball segment. We're gonna talk about the WNBA finals, and we got some Shaq and AI news that we gotta give a round of applause for. Y'all give us about 30 seconds. We'll be right back. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our final segment. I told you it's only be 30 seconds, dog. We football. We love October. We love basketball. We love football. And most of the time, we love baseball. We love hockey. But that makes for a long show, bro. So we are going to end it on WNBA and NBA news, basketball news around the league, of course, with basketball. We know that the NBA is in preseason. Did you see that DeAndre Hunter played tonight?
Yes, I did see that.
And I think they really are going to play him at the 4. Him and Sadiq Bey are the forwards. That is pretty much it.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh, we didn't talk about the Ravens and Lamar. Sorry about that. We'll get to that next time. Y'all offense, bro.
But for me, I mean, yeah, that's what they want. That's what they wanted from John Collins. You want a guy who can dribble better, who can shoot better, who has a mid-range, who has the ability to get his shot a little bit easier. That's fine. But that is going to cause a problem on defense and on the boards. Because DeAndre Hunter, not notoriously a great rebounder. Sadiq Bey, not a notoriously a great rebounder. Then you surround them with 2 guys who are not going to get really anything other than cleanup rebounds, which is going to be Trey and DeJounte. So now you have 4 guys, nobody can rebound, and Clint, the tall mound of rebound. Everything is forcing more pressure onto Clint. And let's be real. Clint is not long for here. You got to figure out something with a Kungwu. So,
as I said before, Clint. We'll talk about it more, but Clint is the only height we have on the team. He's the only person over 6'10", over 6'10". But moving on, man. So we'll talk more about the NBA preseason and season next week, starting next week. Let's get to the WNBA, man. The Liberty came back and won. Well, actually, they didn't come back and win. They won Game 3. Jonquil Jones played really, really well. I think she set a record of some sort, right?
No. So the Liberty, they set the record for most people to want to be at a WNBA game, like 17,000. Also, shout out to, I think it was Caitlin Clark. They set
Iowa 55,000. Yeah, playing in the
000.
football stadium.
So shout out to the women for, growing the game. Shout out to the people supporting the women's game on the collegiate and professional level. The Liberty took the Game 3. They needed it. They could not lose again. The Aces ain't no joke. I think that the Aces win the series. I think that A'ja Wilson is the finals MVP. You can have that regular season MVP. Bring me my trophy. Bring me my ring. And you can get the hell out of my face. That's what I think it is.
It's definitely smoke for A'ja Wilson, and she is not scared to show it and admit it. But I do like that New York is playing well. And also, y'all New York fans, listen, I understand y'all love the Knicks. Y'all crazy as hell if you think Breanna Stewart would beat Trey in basketball. Like, I understand WNBA. I know that she's 6'4" and Trey is 6'1" and all of those things. Y'all got to take the hurt out y'all heart. That's not going to happen. Now, I don't think it would happen. But the only reason y'all saying that is because y'all hate Trey Young. Y'all wouldn't say that Breanna Stewart would beat what y'all point guard name that they got from Dallas?
Jalen Brunson.
Y'all wouldn't say that. They're the same height. So, I mean, come on now. Be honest with yourself. Take that hurt out your heart. It's okay. It's another season of
what y'all
empty.
need to be focused on is that the Liberty is the best team in New York.
by far.
Win
By
City.
far. But in other news,
The Bills ain't looking like it either.
I said by far now. Reebok named Shaq president of basketball and Allen Iverson vice president of basketball. I want to say that they are the two most iconic, or two of the three most iconic Reebok athletes, especially in basketball, to ever be endorsed by them. I want to say the third person in terms of basketball would be like Sean Kemp.
Yes, the Kamikazes.
Shaq always has a job, but one thing that Shaq is good about, and I don't know from a business acumen of running, I don't know what all entails vice president or president of Reebok basketball, but in terms of brand notoriety, brand growth, brand recognition, Shaq is second to none.
Okay, so my only thing about this is y'all gotta find they gotta find a basketball player. That's their answer. Like, they got Justin Fields, that was great. You got Shaq and AI, that's cool. But Shaq and AI is not for the current demographic. You're trying to sell sneakers right now. So there are a couple things that you need to do. Actually, more than that. You need to get some relevant basketball players right now. You really need to find some influencers. That's what Adidas did. You actually probably need to get some people who are into music so that you can, that's where all of these brands are now. You can't pick. I mean, I like Shaq and AI, and I'm happy that they're in control of it because they're passionate about Reebok. And that's got to be number one. You got to have somebody that believes in the product, likes it, and wants to support and endorse it. But you also have to be relevant to today's time, and you have to do that by having people wearing your shoes. And there have to be somebody that people like, follow, and are influenced by. Yeah.
So I honestly think there's a brand that nobody really talks about, but quietly has ushered themselves into the NBA in terms of players playing with their teams.
I know who you're talking about, and you see how many athletes they got over there? A ton.
Who am I talking about?
Puma.
No, that's a good one. Quietly is kept. The Way of Wades in China has moved into the NBA. I think they got Kyrie now. They had Paul George wear his shoes. He's had players in Miami wear his shoes, and he's in the G League. If Reebok as a notoriety brand, you're right. They need to go to Puma. They need to follow the Puma metric. But if you really want to try to grow and make money and profitability, you need to study the Way of Wades, because they're in China. They are all over the place, and they are actually affordable, which is what Shaq's big thing is anyway. Also, they need to get into AAU, but go ahead.
For me, like, the China thing gives you just a massive fan base. And if you go over there and spend time over there, they're going to give you enough regular customers that then you can start, all right, well, this is where my baseline is. And they love Dwayne Wade over there. Any athlete that really goes over there and gives them a minute of their time consistently, you see how Stephon Marbury, I think he got a statue over there.
Statue. AI said,
and if you go over there, and if you do that, they're going to love you. Now, the other part is, quietly, I don't think that a lot of people have noticed this, Skechers is getting into this game, and I think they're ahead of Reebok. They got wow. Terrence Mann, and they have Julius, and the sneakers are solid. That's the other part. The sneakers are a solid sneaker, and as soon as I saw it, it kind of looks like that Luka Jordan, because that's what I thought it was at first. And then it's like, nah, it's a Skechers.
Skechers is the brand that kind of grew up with us. Like, it came out when we were real young. They used to have the wheelies, where you had the wheels on the back, and you wore, and they were a skateboard brand. And then they just, as they grew up and we grew up, the millennial brand, Skechers really, and this is off sports, but Skechers really may be the shoe of the millennial. Like as we grew, they grew. They went out of sport. They went out of skateboarding. They went into now they're in comfort shoes, and now they're in sports and basketball and football. They've always been in other sports. So Skechers. I'm not surprised that they're ahead of Reebok. Reebok had one of the most unceremoniously fall offs in sneaker history. Probably, I would actually say it was worse than Feli. So
yeah,
it is what it is. But ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the SplashCast. Finally, 3 hours and 25 minutes later, we did the pregame. We did the Around the League edition. We talked about, I don't know why it's raining. We did, because the Braves lost and everybody lost. We did college football, a lot of gas station sushi, HBCU, all of these things. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen.
I had the rave lights. Finally got him. We got him, baby.
Right after this season is over with. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if Norwood, if we didn't miss anything, take us out.
Man. This has been an excellent Monday Night Raw. We saw the Cowboys find a way to win a game. Prepare tomorrow for everybody to start asking for the Chargers head coach. It's going to be very interesting going forward how this thing plays out. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Baseball season, as far as we know it, is over.
Nobody cares.
Looks like the Astros are finna get out of here, which makes me feel even better. If the Phillies lost to the Diamondbacks, I can't lie. It's like a reset. Nobody even won.
I'd buy an Arizona Diamondbacks pin and put it on my Braves hat.
I'm gonna tell you, they win. I got a snap back for them. I got one. Basketball season is here. We finishing up these preseason games. We got our ass whooped today in the first half and then came back and made it a game. Now, I know that Trey didn't play, DeJounte and Clint didn't play. I'm going to watch the game here probably tomorrow because I think we were down by 25 points and we came back to lose by 2. That is very interesting to me, especially with 3 of the starters not playing. So, yes, we're happy about that. Falcons, man, we hold it in the road as much as we can. We don't know what it's going to look like. But thank you guys for rocking with us, and thoughts and prayers to Jackson State and to Morgan and to Bowie.
Oh yeah,
man, these shootings during homecoming weekend, like we gotta cut the shit with that. That's gotta be over with. Other than that though, also Jackson and Grambling, y'all got whooped at homecoming. Boy, thoughts and prayers. That is not great. With that said, number one, we'll start this again next season, but number one, more black baseball. No more black beaches. It's cold outside. It's fall. Some places it's already winter. So no beaches till next year, but more black baseball. Number 2, more black cowboys and cowgirls. Number 3, historically black college university you went to, your cousin went to, your auntie went to, the person you used to sit in the back of the church and laugh with. Send some money over there to their school. Number 2, the historically black college university that you go to for homecoming, step shows, to kick it, to be around your people, whatever that may be. Send some money over there. And to the greatest learning institution in all the world, the one that gave me a degree and gave Reggie a degree, has a homecoming up in 2 weeks. Go to the homecoming, number 1. Number 2, send some money over there and drop some money off there. They need it.
Go to and all y'all support your bookstore. Support your bookstore.
Yes.
Support your bookstore. All these schools have made an investment into the bookstores. Hampton, Southern, Grambling, South Carolina State. Buy your stuff from the bookstore. It may be a little more costly. It's going to be a little more than the dudes that sell it out on the street going up to the stadium and all of that. Get you something, even if it's just a hat, because that goes directly to the school. All right.
Please do that. And with that said, outside of that, Reggie and I love you. Adios, mi amigos. Until we see y'all again, arrivederci. Keep it P. And, man, stop. Hey, man, be safe at homecoming, man. Please. I think that this violence is unnecessary to the umpteenth degree, but seriously, man, we can't do that. That ain't it.
Y'all stay safe. ATL edition tomorrow. I guess that's the curtain call. ATL edition tomorrow. SplashCast 12-pack and pregame Wednesday. ATL Around the League comes out Thursday. Peace. Y'all out of here.
Oh, y'all finna get all of these.
I love y'all. Out of here.
This is the SplashCast weekly schedule. You can find us on Monday Night Raw. That is the Around the League edition where we cover all of the major leagues around the league. Tuesday is the ATL edition, Braves, Falcons, Hawks. Wednesday is when the playlist comes out. It's a SplashCast 24, 12, or 36-pack, just depending on the music. Thursday, for everybody who was not able to catch us live on Monday, they can catch up there on the Around the League edition. And then Saturday, of course, we bet beers for Saturday Morning Live. If you ever need to find us, we can be found at thesplashcast.com and, of course, via Instagram at thesplashcast.
Tryna jam us, why I keep getting all of these chances? Why me, God, I need answers. Speak your mind and you might get counseled. Pinky ring and it cost me a phantom. Whack the witness, the evidence tamper. Dirty money, the safest the hamper. Yeah, my bitch a star and I stamped her. P.E. Jordan 3, this a sampler. I don't wanna do it, but I gotta do it. Gotta kill you if it's me or you. He got fire, I got fire, a lot of fluid. Gotta wait from the haters, say hallelujah. Be crazy, this shit be the closest to you. It's okay, cause they know that I come to do it. Hold your VO for Virgil, exclusive Louis. Bitch was geeking and tweaking, I hit a Ewing. Wrist hitting and glistening, this shit the movies. If you smoke at the door, then I'm tending to it. Watch when I step here, come my belt. Angel on my shoulder, but the devil on the left. I got a meal, not a meal from a shelf. I do it alone, I own myself. Stay home for you don't get left. Playing dirty here below my belt. I'ma get the bad, do the show myself. Do that again, I had to show myself. Make room on my plate. I just said my grace and then I ate. Got a particular taste. I just stuffed my pockets in my face. Okay, let's have a debate. We talking about popping, I promise I'm feeling the way.